Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
The Sunday Session is brought to you by More Beer, who has just opened their East Coast distribution center and is now shipping orders from California and Pennsylvania. Check them out at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia. That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No.
We're going to teabag fight.
Yeah.
You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to The Session. Here we are, just hanging out and prepared to talk beer. Like professionals.
You're looking very professional right now.
I am?
You are.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very intense. You're like you're just about to misel me.
You could end up miseled by the end of the show. Now, I think one of the games on the show tonight should be to figure out what the word miseled means and where it came from.
That could definitely override my Twitter game.
Tell us what miseled means and find where it came from, because I'm all about miseled, and I think it's the new.
Because you did that.
Definitely, I've miseled people before. That's for sure.
You didn't know it.
Oh boy!
How do you spell miseled? Like phonetically?
Well, it's a lot like misled.
Right. It looks like misled, but it's not.
But it's not. It's miseled. So you've been miseled, which is different than being misled.
MIESLYED,
miseled.
I would just go with MISLED. I mean,
but for the Twitter game, it needs to translate.
Oh, phonetic. I see.
Yes.
Oh, is MYSLED?
That'd be my sled. Like MIE, my
sled. Yeah. Moscow's gonna have to help you on this one. Yeah. I think.
Well, the principal of my high school was Mr. Mizell, and it was spelled MISEL for what that's worth. Larry Mizell. So miseled, MISL. Oh well, I guess that's misled. Yeah.
Easily mistaken, confusing, if you will.
Were you miseled?
Oh, miseled.
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 I think we miseled people during last week's show. Twitter had a little frenzy about us going on.
Oh, my.
Yes, it did definitely do that.
I'm going to try not to be upset about it. I was upset about it during the week, and not upset that it bothers me when people are stupid.
Upset for exactly how many minutes?
It just riled me up because people are stupid. But I'll try not to let that happen during this brief commentary about it. In our news last week, Moscow, we brought up the somebody's blonde ale, and on the label it said "goes down easy." And then the words in the article, like phrases like rape culture were used and things like that. And ultimately, the Twitter frenzy was that somehow we were promoting rape culture or chauvinistic or in whatever way. And all I could think was, did anybody actually listen to the segment?
Yeah. Nobody did.
Did one person who had because we're always the scapegoat over here. Because we sort of speak our mind and don't worry too much about the political correctness. The sentiment, in my opinion, is what really matters. As soon as something like rape culture, for example, is mentioned, the assumption is that we believe in it or condone it or are somehow chauvinistic about it.
Correct.
All I could gather from the comments on Twitter was that nobody actually listened to our segment, where we thought it was ridiculous that that this beer can would be blamed for such a thing, right. Where we shit on the fact that we are promoting something like rape to a culture, and where we, I think, in every sense of the word, defended that these things should not be used in the same sentences, that the beer company was I don't think anybody listened to the segment.
Well, why would they?
It's impossible. All I could think was, it's impossible that any of you heard a word we said.
What's amazing is that that's mostly true. Most people probably didn't listen. But there are people who did listen, but they don't hear what was said. Oh. They hear how they felt when they heard it. And it skews the words that were used.
And then they only heard what...
They only heard the word rape.
That's it.
And us saying it.
And we were talking about it, so...
It must have been bad.
We must have condoned it.
And I just thought, in the end, I just thought, everyone's an idiot, except for me. That's how I walked away feeling in the end. And I felt the best that I felt all week. Afterward.
Well, we could start a new thing about a new word called beer rape.
I don't think we should. I think if
beer rape is when I'm forced to drink a PBR, or I'm forced to drink a silver bullet.
That's palate rape.
You're not helping, Doc.
I know you're not helping now, but because we've said the words rape,
we're making fun of this, and it's in the whole context. It's the context of it all.
It doesn't matter now that we said the word rape. It'll be all over Twitter again that we're the bad guys. It's like, you know what it made me think of? We got called racist once, not for what we did do, but for what we didn't do.
Correct.
Remember when we didn't have the homebrewer of the year on the show? And by the way, I would love to have her on the show still, Moscow. I don't know if we're working on that or not.
She wants to come.
But we didn't do it for a couple weeks or something. Like 2 weeks had gone by. And
somebody blamed it because she was a girl.
And the headlines read this.
Headlines.
The Brewing Network is racist.
Yes.
Why? For not having her on the show.
It's because we didn't even mention her. I think that's what it was. We didn't even mention that she was a black woman who won an award.
And so I thought,
first off, she's black.
See, now not only, it doesn't matter what we do say, it matters what we don't say.
Right.
Oh, it was mentioned so much that Homebrew of the Year was a woman, and everybody rejoiced. My God, come on.
Thou shalt rejoice.
We're much more enlightened than that, aren't we? I mean,
exactly. It's just like, cool.
We're like,
why not? They're good women brewers.
It's more along that something's new.
It's just like when we interviewed Garrett Oliver, I was proud that it didn't come up once in the interview that he's black, because it's irrelevant.
I'm surprised there wasn't some tweet somewhere that said we were racist for not noting.
Sure there was.
Also that not only is he a great brewer, but he's a black brewer. And this whole, and the thing, and I just thought, this is ridiculous.
I mean, to me, it still sounds like you're going, hey, good job. See, I knew you could do it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it is, for sure.
So I was.
He did not check the box.
I was in our pre-show interview form. He didn't fill out race, so we didn't mention it. He chose. I choose not to comment.
That's right.
So I saw this Twitter thing, and the show's from a couple weeks ago. Even I thought, how could anybody listen to that segment where we were really funny? By the way, I would like to point out how funny we all were. How could anybody listen to that segment and think that we were in any way either chauvinist or condoning rape.
I mean, it's. I don't even know what to say. I can't
if a
even.
logical
It makes me
person,
mad.
let me put this out there, because here's what I also don't like.
What?
When did we become the people nobody could talk to? Like, I mean, here I will put this out there. If any of you listen to that segment and would like to point out to me where we either condoned rape, became chauvinist, or thought that rape was in any way funny, then come on the show. And I'm not going to, and I don't mean like in the Glenn Beck kind of way. I don't know who Glenn Beck is, but he's one of these guys you argue with on the air. I don't mean like in the way.
He wrote the 2 haircuts and a microphone,
that's right,
or whatever it is.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't mean like in that way where we make fun of you. I mean, present me with valid points and I will apologize.
I can reach out to a couple of those people who
No
said that.
need to reach out. I don't need you to spend the time that I pay you to spend fucking reaching out to asswipes. What I mean is, everyone just wants to go on Twitter and talk about a segment that they didn't listen to,
right?
And call the Brewing Network either chauvinist or racist. And I'm just saying, just call us instead.
Yeah,
call up. We're on air either every Sunday or every Monday. It's always on the webpage. It's not hard to find out anymore when we're on the air. And our phone number is 888-401-BEER. 888-401-BEER. If you can't remember the number, you're too stupid to call in and argue your point. I'll put that out there. But other than that, call in and just tell me what. I don't get it.
That's the downside of having a social media platform like a Twitter is people can chime in because they can extract context from a 140 character conversation, and insert their opinion into it when they admittedly haven't heard it, and then you can point that out to them, and then other people will chime in, ignoring the fact that you said you haven't even heard the show.
I know.
It was 3 minutes long.
The people who chime in, some of them affiliated with this show, by the way. Don't think I don't know who you are, fuckers. Some of them affiliated with this show who instantly jump on the bandwagon and go, oh yeah, I bet it was bad. I shouldn't listen.
No,
yes.
you
I think
always...
your reaction should be the opposite. Are you a friend or not? I think your reaction should be, I know those guys.
They wouldn't think that.
And they're not that way. I should listen to see if this person is right. But that's not what happens. People see it and they go, oh, yeah. You mean those Brewing Network guys?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was awful. and
listen for yourselves, please.
And I can't, by the way, respond on Twitter or Facebook because all I want to say is you people are too stupid to even listen before commenting on something.
Well, I don't think
and then that's not going to help because then they just start doing more of the assumptions, and then I have to defend things that don't even exist. Does anybody else have arguments in their head like with people that don't even exist? I do all the time.
No.
It's part of my anger issue. And you start arguing, and then you're like
out loud.
And then I'm like, who are you arguing with? This conversation didn't even happen. That's how I feel Twitter and Facebook is. It's an imaginary argument that happens in 140 characters. It's imaginary.
Oh, my kids come out and they who you talking to? Oh,
and you're like, never mind.
I'm pissed off about something, and I'm having my own conversation with myself about somebody else.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't call them too stupid since I do argue with myself all the time. But I do feel like it's an imaginary conversation. If you haven't heard the show and you don't know what was said, you're actually having an imaginary conversation with your little imaginary friends.
Well, a lot of people
are racist and chauvinist.
Yes, a lot of people try to have arguments online. They try to have arguments on Twitter and Facebook, but the nature of those platforms does not allow for coherent cognitive thought. It does not. So you can't actually defend your position. Correct. Correct. Yeah. It does. You can't defend your position. You can't give rational ideas and rational thoughts like, hey, that's not what we said. I did try to point that out to some guy. I suggest you take a look at, or I suggest you listen to the show because you clearly got things wrong. You took them in correctly. Ignored that, then other people jumped in who are affiliated with the show, and it blew it up into proportions that are still pale in comparison to how many people don't really give a shit. But so you can't go on and defend yourself because the platform of Twitter does not allow that.
Right.
Good old
so I
Twitter.
just leave it alone.
Good old Twitter.
And then I just stew for the week, and then I go, I'll just talk about it on the show. And in therapy, and then with Steve. Now I got to spend an hour with Steve talking about people who think I want to rape.
Well, who doesn't want to rape? I mean, really?
Now, see, that's what...
Oh, wait. I thought we were like in the positive.
Okay,
about it.
now stop.
Whatever.
Why isn't your therapist a chick? What are you, sexist?
I'm
You only see a male therapist?
I'm sexist.
Can't rape males.
Yeah, I engaged briefly
Yes, you can.
on Twitter for like
It's
half
called
a
prison.
day. I got wrapped up in it, and I was like, this is so stupid. And it actually inspired me to delete my Twitter altogether. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I can't do it.
Oh, this thing? You deleted your Twitter on this?
Well, because
Yeah.
I saw it by pure chance, right? Because
Yeah.
I came in here to do Brewing with Style, and the BN's Twitter was up on the thing, and I saw this message that I would have never otherwise seen, but it happened to like come in while I was here at the console.
Right.
And I kind of was like, you have to be kidding. And so I went on my personal Twitter where I just posted like paintings, and I was like, I engaged for half a day, and then I went, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This is so silly.
It's silly. I was in San Diego. I was at San Diego Beer Week. I tried to do a little work in the morning and then go out to beer events.
Yeah.
I had to read this thing. And
Oh, shit.
I'm sitting around going, fuck you guys. Sir, you guys...
So you
idiots.
rolled into every beer event pissed off.
Yeah. That's,
What am I drinking right now?
Yeah.
I love it. I love this beer.
It's great.
What's it called? Because I don't want anybody calling me on that.
Yeah. I don't want to say it wrong because you think I'm a beer racist or whatever else.
You're a beerist.
This beer wasn't brewed by a chick, was it? So I don't want it.
Yeah, so I walked into every place going, hey, this beer wasn't born out of rape, was it? I'm not into that. It's ridiculous. Well, we got a great show planned for you today, though.
If you're still listening.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, More Beer, for bringing this program to you, this session and every session. You can go over to morebeer.com. They're good dudes over there. They don't believe in any of the terrible things we believe in. And they're good to people, and they're fair and balanced. Like Fox. More Beer's like Fox News.
What's the Fox say?
With the most watched.
Without the Fox News.
So More Beer's the most purchased internet homebrew supply store in the entire country.
I don't know. That's possible.
Well, Fox News is the highest rated.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So.
Well, whatever. Thanks to our sponsor, More Beer. Go to morebeer.com right now.
Your point.
Yeah.
I just want that last fuse to fire off. That's all.
I'm pretty relaxed. So I think that's why I was able to have this discussion and not fucking lose it. Feeling all right.
Is now a bad time to tell you that the video's not working? So at the break, I have to restart everything.
Did you select the right
I sure did.
show thing?
Oh, I can see. Yeah, it's all here, man.
Okay.
So Moscow, your neck's feeling real rubbery because he's about to grab it.
No, I'm good today. I feel
Say
all right.
something.
I'm not even on like Xanax or anything. I feel all right. Yeah.
That's good for you.
Oh, he's
had a beer or two before the show. I'm getting warm in here. Is it warm in
It's
here?
hot.
Well, you got that cool shirt on that's like that half sleeve thing.
I just rolled them up. 'Cause it's hot.
Yeah, I know exactly. But
Well, I turned the heat on because Bevo. It's like we're running a fucking daycare around here. Bevo brings the baby to work, and then it's cold downstairs. I have to turn the heat on, and then I got to watch Tasty sweat all night, and he's got to watch me sweat all night. And
she's not even here, right?
But she's on her way. I feel I care about the kid and being.
You shouldn't. That kid is terrible.
Look, you have stairs. You should care about the kid about the stairs, not the heat.
That kid can't make it up the stairs.
Oh, she makes it down the stairs, though. Well.
All right, tonight we're going to talk about a topic, that we kind of covered before, but I'm hoping to get a little bit of new information out there. And it was brought in front of me at San Diego Beer Week when I went to Society Brewing Company. And our good old friend Dougie works down there at Society. I got to meet Travis, the brewer, and Mike, who's like assistant everything around there, and good guys with a. By the way, the tasting room down there, Society, is fantastic. I highly recommend if anybody's in San Diego that you go check it out. And I was walking around looking at their barrel room and checking out the brewery, and Dougie poured me a Citra IPA out of the bright tank. So it was fresh and it was ready to go, and it was really nice. And we started to talk about it, and he had presented it to me essentially as our new IPA. It's a Citra IPA, and it was so crisp and clean and not bitter and dry that it really struck me as a unique IPA, even though we've talked about these beers as needing to be dry and different things. And through the course of our discussion, he mentioned to me, and please don't quote me on these numbers. I know I'm close, but I might not be exact. He mentioned to me that it's only a 50 IBU beer, and that's what got us talking about it, that a lot of brewers and home brewers and professional brewers think that an IPA, in order to be called that, really must be in the above 70 or more IBU range. to really be called an IPA. And what he started to talk to me about is how this beer finishes out at like 1 Plato or less. Yeah. And that doesn't require it to need any more than 50 IBUs to still taste like a West Coast IPA. And of course, we've talked before about how I really like it. A lot of the guys in this room like the hop flavor without all the bitterness, and that was the other result of this. So we're going to talk today a little bit about that and how gravity versus IBU is really kind of a moving and shifting target rather than just thinking about balance. In other words, just because you're going to put more IBUs in doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have some big, sweet, malty backbone. And in fact, the sweeter and maltier that backbone gets, well, that's when you do need 75, 80, 90 more IBUs.
Balance that out.
Because you won't get any balance. But there's a way to make it taste like a really high-quality and drinkable IPA without all the big gravity.
Well, drinkable is what...
Drinkable.
You got to sell it.
So that's how we ended the discussion with Dougie, and it really was about, I hate to use coined terms, but it really was about drinkability in the end. So that's what we're going to talk about a little later in the show today. We got Tasty in here, who you know is a master at these kind of things. We've got Doc in here to talk to us about the water, because that's another interesting part about this. And I'll talk to you about what society does to their water a little bit, and Doc and Tasty can kind of walk us through that stuff too. And so we're going to be talking gravity versus IBUs. If you've got questions about that, just hit the chat button on the homepage. Bevo will be here shortly. She's running just a little late today. She still has a real job. So she'll show up. She'll be in the chat room. You can also call 888-401-BEER, 888-401-BEER, and we're going to talk gravity versus IBU. All right. A couple of cool things I did get to do in San Diego. I just thought I'd mention. Not only go to Society, but I went to that new Stone Liberty Station.
How was that?
It's possibly the most beautiful restaurant on planet Earth.
Really?
The place is amazing. It's like another compound. They've got the Stone World Bistro and Gardens, and now this one is called Stone World Bistro and Gardens Liberty Station.
Oh, okay.
Liberty Station is the little area that it's in, which is like a decommissioned military base. So there's a lot of different buildings being reused for different things. It's got that kind of the buildings are that kind of Santa Fe architecture. Single level, high ceilings, a lot of arches, things like that.
All right.
But they've gutted the inside, and did their stone thing. And I'm telling you, from like water features that are inside at your table, like a waterfall goes down into the middle of your table and then flows down underneath it.
Okay.
To lots of beautiful reclaimed wood, lots of uses of stone, as you might imagine, that just looked incredible. There's a bocce court area outside. There's a full beer garden outside with a lot of like big, giant fire pits with tables around them.
Wow.
The bathroom. Now check this out, JP.
Okay. Any photos, by the way? I like photos of bathrooms.
I didn't, but I don't know if the bathroom photo is on the website. But there's a lot of great photos on their website.
Okay.
I tried taking some with my phone, and they're all terrible. Yeah. And then I went and looked at the website, and there's a lot of professional photography of the whole place. So I do recommend looking at it.
No, take it from an iPhone.
By the way, I'm talking about how it looks because everyone knows the Stone beer is fantastic. So I don't need to tell you that. The beer list was great, and the service was great, but the way they did this place. So you go into the bathroom, and it's that typical thing where you walk in, and then you walk through an arch, and to the left is the men's room, and to the right is the women's room.
Okay,
that's not too uncommon. But the first corridor that you walk down into the men's and the women's room is the hand washing station, and it's a big granite slab. There are no sinks. The water falls onto a slab of granite.
Okay,
that's tilted back and it drains out. So it's not even a sink. But here's the thing. When you look up, instead of looking into a mirror like you're normally looking at, you're looking at the women washing their hands.
Oh, yeah, I want to know, yeah.
There's no wall between you and the women's room at the washing station. Everything else is hidden, but at the washing station, you look up, and you're looking at the women washing their hands, too. So you can be like, yeah, you're washing all that shit off your hands, aren't you, baby?
We're so good.
It's the shame station. Look, I'm washing, you're washing. Because you ain't touching me without you washing.
And it is a little, I liked it, but it is a little weird because you both know why you're washing your hands. It's because you both just were near your genitals.
Yeah.
And there you are.
Sometimes on your genitals.
Staring at each other.
No, it's more about I'm going to be near your genitals.
Well, Not at that point.
It's
I
not
guess,
the
but-
Liberty
which of the
Station
women you're looking at. I mean, you don't even know
Well,
Yeah,
that was
yes.
Yeah.
But it's your opportunity to
it's
say what's
like,
up.
Well, that's really cool.
I got the
cool,
cleanest hands in this goddamn place. Honey, want to meet?
to knock on the window, so you
No window.
but I mean you could see
You could touch them.
You could smell
you
them.
could touch
There's
them.
nothing there.
Did you touch
There's
clean hands?
nothing there.
I was picturing one-way mirrors.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Oh, no. You can reach over and wash their hands for them if you'd like to.
Oh,
the
that'd be
only
good.
thing in front of you and them is another slab of granite where the faucets come out of, but that granite only comes up to about your belly, and you're looking. You could talk. You could say, "Hey."
So
Wow.
Number one or number two?
they don't
I
know
don't
what
like
you're
that.
washing.
And all I could think was this is a great idea that kind of fucks with people, but it's really a social icebreaker. Like if I'm Greg Cook and I'm thinking about his stone place, I'm thinking, okay, because Greg Cook's not too shy, I'm thinking, how do I get people to interact with each other in my restaurant? And I think one way is to remove the wall between them while they're doing a very intimate thing, which is washing up after going to the bathroom. I think this is part of the thought process. Yeah. I'm not speaking for Greg Cook.
Right.
I'm going through my head, why did he do it this way? It's not just a design aesthetic. It socially puts people together. I thought it was cool.
I dislike it 100%.
I could see that. I could understand why. But tell me.
Well, because when I'm washing my hands, I don't want to look at the other person washing their hands. I'm looking down, I'm washing my hands, and then I'm done. I don't want to interact with anybody while we're washing our hands outside of the bathroom.
I understand, and most places make it easy
it's
for you
not
to,
the bathroom,
for
it's
you
the
to
washing
continue
hand station.
on your merry way with that attitude.
Yes.
This one forces you out of it, because let's say the woman across from you is just kind of looking at you while you do it. You almost have to say something, like you have to say hi. You have to get out of that box.
Yeah, but so then that's it. Then you go hi, and then she goes hi, or you both smile awkwardly, and then that's it.
But that's great. It's a unique experience that you won't have somewhere else.
Yeah, there's a reason for it.
JB, some of us can move it on to the next step.
Yeah, I wouldn't go anywhere without some pattern already prepared.
Oh yeah. A little high five.
I might stay for 3-4 hand washes.
Clean hands.
Yeah, you're like
a new group.
You really are staying and washing your hands well.
Yeah.
New group. Yeah, Casey's like session 2.
Yeah,
new group.
These aren't any good. I'm gonna go take a leak again. So.
I just,
well, God bless you for liking it.
I thought it was unique, and I thought it was a clever way to potentially get people to interact in a way that they otherwise would never have done so.
So, well, now I have to ask, did you interact with someone?
No, there was nobody there.
Oh!
They were at the other end. And I went twice.
Yeah.
And both times I didn't have a person there. I went late at night, and so it was kind of, there wasn't a lot of people there. It was like a Wednesday late at night. So, no.
Okay.
And to better answer your question, I'm also not sure I wouldn't have initiated it myself.
Thank you.
However, if someone was looking at me and I felt awkward, then I would say, this is a little weird, huh? I got doo-doo on my hands. You got it on your hands. Here we are.
We're clean now.
Well, okay. How about if it's the chick you're with, for instance? And say it's a second date or something. You're not like...
That's even better, right? Then
that's a little different. Yeah.
It's a cool icebreaker.
Then you can say,
you could be like, never thought we'd be here on the second date.
How about you just go?
Wow,
this is what I'm saying,
You're
Casey.
terrible with your pickup lines.
I know.
That is terrifying.
How about you just go into the
dating.
second room? It's all white, and you just get your immunizations, and they say right in the butt. And
you think that room was there too, and I just missed it?
Yeah,
I see. I don't know. I thought it was a unique and pretty cool design.
It's unique,
feature.
that's for sure.
And the rest of the place was just awesome. Some very cool things down at the Stone Liberty Station.
No rape?
I didn't see any. And I would have shouted out against it if I saw it.
Of course you would.
Of
course you would.
Since I have to state that clearly for everybody to know, I would be so against rape that I would say something.
It's not socially acceptable.
See something, say something.
Against it, yeah. What else? I went to the World History Museum the first night there. They did
you didn't.
They did a beer and food pairing event
yes, you did.
For San Diego Beer Week. A lot of great food.
Yeah.
Some good breweries down there. Ballast Point is doing some new things.
Yeah.
They opened a giant tasting room in Little Italy that's really nice, and they were also pouring at this beer and food. I ate a bunch of fish at the beer and food event, and I don't
like fish.
I don't usually like fish, but
San Diego.
I think like beer, my palate has changed. I think I now like fish. I used to say I don't really like fish. Now I think I have to say I don't like certain kinds of fish. Because I had sea bass. It was great.
Yeah.
I had some sort of raw fish, something or other.
Was it Chilean sea bass?
Good. I don't know.
Of course it was.
Because it's not actually
He wouldn't
bass.
have liked it otherwise.
Chilean sea bass isn't actually bass. So just so you know, it's an
Stop
unidentified...
shitting on my fish
It's
niceness.
an unidentified fish.
It
Go
was
ahead.
just sea bass.
Right.
He liked it.
I had a salmon that was good.
Was it Atlantic? I don't know.
I mean, it said chicken of the sea on the can. That's salmon,
fine.
right?
Is it chicken?
Yeah.
Is it fish?
Anyway, that was a nice event at the World History. There's a whole segment on our sponsor, White Labs, were part of the exhibit, rather, because they're such a big part of San Diego beer history. And that's what the exhibit really was, about the history of beer in San Diego, which, we had that movie on.
That was Suds County, USA, Sheldon Kaplan's movie.
There you go, which I thought was a really great depiction of the history of beer in San Diego. And that might have been one of the things that depicted this exhibit, that prompted this exhibit. So there was a White Lab station there talking about yeast and their contribution. And then, of course, if you were new to beer, you could go in and learn all about the brewing process. They had Ballast Point's old brew system in there, like a small 7-barrel brew system that you could kind of touch and feel and see how the brew process went. It's a pretty cool thing to see at an official history museum.
That's
to see
cool.
craft beer integrated with something like that. It's an ongoing exhibit. The exhibit wasn't just there for San Diego Beer Week. They just did this event at it. And I thought that was a really cool thing that San Diego was doing.
Awesome.
Other than that, I was a little uninspired by San Diego Beer Week, but in a positive way, and here's why. You know how we come in here about San Francisco Beer Week and we complain about how there's a billion events and we can't possibly do them, and it's 100 days long and it gets ridiculous? Well, San Diego Beer Week kind of pared it down, and I had trouble even finding things to go to other than tap takeovers. So I started to complain about that, what the fuck? I'm down here for San Diego Beer Week, and then I realized, wait a minute, I've been complaining for years about too many events. And it was really nice. I just went to a couple things. Society had their first ever beer dinner in their barrel room where they were pouring their first ever pours of barrel-aged beers.
Oh, wow.
They have an enormous piece of square footage in their brewery dedicated to a temperature-controlled barrel room that ultimately will hold something like 500 barrels, that for the past 18 months since they opened, has been full of beer that they've been unable to pour because it's not ready yet.
I think I just finished.
Which just gives you an idea about how a small brewing company like Society without a big budget is really dedicated to quality beer. They've been sitting on inventory. We've talked about how hard that is to do. And they released it during San Diego Beer Week at this beer dinner. I didn't get a chance to go to it, but they were, I think, sour beers and all sorts of different barrel aging. So that was great.
Good. Yeah, sounds awesome.
Oh, my.
Went to a little GABF winner down there called Monkey Paw, which is just, you'd like it, JP.
Yeah?
It's just a little dive bar.
All right.
But not only do they have a ton of other craft beers, but they have their own, and a couple of them won some Great American Beer Festival medals. But as I was going around to different events, people kept asking me, what are you doing? I kept saying, I don't know. And several people said, go over to Monkey Paw. So we walked down there. It was a cool little place. Just like I said, it's just a dive bar. But
I love dive bars.
But a brewery. I liked it. I went down early afternoons. It's kind of perfect time to sit in a dive bar, getting a buzz.
Yeah.
You'd like it. So next time you're in SD, I would do the Monkey Paw.
I'll check it out.
Jeez, they won 5 golds and 3 silvers and 6 bronzes. They clobbered it.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so I only said a couple because they kind of put on their beer list which ones were gold medals. So that's all I saw. The beers I had were really very good. So it's a cool place.
Awesome.
They must. I don't know. I honestly don't know if there are breweries on site or not. Some San Diegan will have to answer that for us. Because I didn't see a brewery. I literally just saw a dive bar, but with Monkey Paw beers. It's fun.
Yeah.
I didn't do much else, I'll be honest.
Yeah?
I hung out with the White Labs folks. And
Did you drive down or take the bus down?
It's easy for you to say.
I know. Sorry.
I flew down.
This microphone thing.
And then I was going up to Long Beach to visit some friends where I got to go to Beachwood Barbecue also. So I flew down and I took the Amtrak, the Pacific Surfliner from San Diego up to Anaheim.
All right.
What a great ride.
Did you go to Disneyland?
No.
Fucking asshole.
No time for Disneyland. It's like a 2-hour train ride from San Diego to Anaheim.
Okay.
It's an hour and a half if you drive.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty good.
And I got to sit there looking out the window at the Pacific Ocean for 2 hours drinking beer.
That's cool.
How can you beat that? If you're going to sit in a car for an hour and a half where you got to fight the people of Southern California,
right?
Which, forgive me if that's where you're from, but you know you suck.
SoCal's terrible.
Yeah, at least San Diego's better.
I hate it.
By the time you get to Anaheim, you've reached the borderline.
Yeah.
But it was a really nice train ride. You sit there, drink beer, have a good time. And then I went to Beechwood Barbecue. I got to spend a few minutes with Julian, who's newly married, by the way. He's got a wife now. And had a bunch of their beers, which were also fantastic.
He makes phenomenal beers.
Yeah.
Did you get to cruise around Seal Beach at all?
No. I went down to like Mission something in Long Beach, some downtown area where I went to a few great beer bars. They got a good beer scene down there now.
They do.
Those were just beer pubs, not breweries. But Beach, I highly recommend going to Beechwood.
Oh, Beechwood Long Beach is rad. There is one in Seal Beach that's pretty cool too, but they don't brew there.
Yeah.
But Long Beach scares the piss out of me. Like Taryn and I we stopped at the Walmart, which is like kind of around the corner from Beechwood. I saw people spitting on the floor. It was just the most disgusting.
In the Walmart?
Literally in the Walmart.
See, that seemed like a really nice area. Although I only walked from the parking garage to Beechwood.
It's called
That's
the LBC.
Only thing you should do. It's terrible.
Called the LBC.
Long Beach
reason.
is terrible.
I see.
But Beechwood is fantastic.
Yeah, they won a bunch of medals too. They got a couple of golds,
I think like
silver, and bronze.
Medium Brew Pub of the Year or something like that.
Medium Brew Pub of the Year and Medium Brew Pub Brewer of the Year.
Yeah,
It's two separate medals, and Julian got those for Beechwood.
Yeah, and they're winning in tough categories too. American Stout, Golden, Blonde Ale. I mean, these are staple categories.
Tasty, is it bad that I really like the Beechwood beers, and I had several of them. We were there for a long time. Is it bad that I finished off the night with a few blind pigs?
That's no problem. You got to calibrate to that. Yeah.
Because at the end, I was
you earned
like,
it.
I've had a bunch, and I really like this beer, and then I'm looking over the menu for something different, another one of Julian beers, but I'd had a few, and I saw Blind Pig, and it's such a go-to beer for me. I moved over to Blind Pig. I apologize, Julian. But you offer it on your menu, and it is hard to compete with that beer.
Yeah.
So I moved over to Blind Pig.
He knows that too. It's good he puts it there.
That's too bad.
It is a good. Here's the thing: if you're going to make hoppy beers like Julian does, I think it does take some big balls to put Blind Pig on your same tap list.
No doubt.
Because you know that when I switch over to it, I'm going to think about the beers from you that I had.
Compare and contrast. Yeah.
Or
you did well, Julian.
Or first on Blind Pig and then did.
And then the other. And I didn't do that because I wanted to go straight for like I got the tasters. He had so many beers on tap of his own. I did 2 flights of tasters. Anyway, he held up against the comparison tasty.
That's great.
It was nice.
That says a lot.
I still had 2 Blind Pigs at the end. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
It's good stuff.
Drink good beer?
It was great beer.
What is it, though?
Blind Pig's fantastic.
So does San Diego Beer Week need to add some events next year? What advice would you give them to make it less listless?
Get them back up to medium.
I think the only advice is not to be as lazy as I am. I don't like to sift through a million events and find the one. I just want to be told where to go.
There's a medium that SF needs to hit. It sounds like that San Diego needs to hit as well. So, on the other end,
what I'm saying is, I think San Diego probably hit it. I think they are actually probably hit the medium. I just didn't do my due diligence to find all the great events that I should have gone to. Well, here's the day after I left. Jamil was doing an event down there, so Heretic had a night. Oh, damn it. I had it in my head about a half a second ago. Who's the nano brewery that just opened down there? Rip Curl had
Rip Current.
Rip Current, thank you. Had a pint night at Hamilton's, I think it was, which is a great beer bar. So there were definitely more things. I think, like I said, I don't have any recommendations for a San Diego Beer Week other than don't be too lazy like I am, where you don't really go find the right ones.
Find new patrons. That's your advice to them?
Yes.
What do you think about the tap takeover as part of a beer week thing? I personally think it's kind of lazy.
I think it has its place.
Yeah.
But I think if 98% of your beer week is just tap takeovers,
yeah,
I agree with you. I think
lazy,
it's kind of a lazy way to go. What else can we do here? In San Diego Beer Week's defense, a couple of those takeovers were joint takeovers. Like the Rip Current one, I think also had Society and Mike Hull. I'm terrible.
Michael.
so terrible with names. It's like a dude's name that's a brewery.
Yeah.
They had good beer, too. They did the trifecta takeover.
That's a good idea.
That is good, and especially if you get representatives from all three companies there, because then it does feel more like an event, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm scrolling through the list and all I see is so-and-so's tap takeover, so-and-so's tap takeover, and it doesn't mean the brewer's going to be there, it doesn't even mean you get to meet somebody. If 99% of your events are that, lazy.
Right. It's probably just that establishment wanting to be a part of that beer week.
But not wanting to think outside of the box.
Right.
You're talking about
go ahead.
Mike Hess Brewing. Is what you're talking about,
Thank
right?
you, Mike Hess.
Yeah,
Right.
go on, Tasty.
Great beer.
Tap takeover is the only practical thing a bar can do that doesn't have food. Really.
No, I disagree. You could do well, like Jay was saying, the trifecta. You can have a Q&A.
Oh yeah, more than one brewery. I understand that,
you could
but
do.
It's still a tap takeover.
You could put on a show. You could invite a company like the Brewing Network to come do a presentation. Presentations and education, I think, are good. Like, let's talk about these beers, not just,
It's hard to get a place quiet because a lot of times at an event, only half the people are there really for the event. There are others are just there because it's a place they go to all the time.
You can put the brewer up. The brewer's just in a sectioned off, and anybody who wants to go talk to them, they go talk to them.
Yeah, most bars don't have a section, but okay. Yeah,
but you can make one. I mean, it's not you just have a corner.
I also think there's a time and place for that. Like, you could do that for most of the week at your establishment, Tasty. You just do the pint takeover, because I'm saying there is a place for that. But maybe one night you want to go out of your way to really serve the beer community, and by doing some education or a presentation of something special, or that's all I mean is make it unique. If it's 1 week out of the year, you can do tap takeovers all year long.
Yeah, that's nothing unique about that.
So just give me, if you are a self-proclaimed craft beer bar, I want you doing something special on Beer Week. At least one night. That's all. Just give me one night of something special. And again, I'm not saying San Diego Beer Week didn't do this.
Correct.
There were several of them that were great examples. That's all. SF Beer Week. There's so many things.
It's too many, and a lot of those are tap takeovers by bars you've never heard of.
Right.
So they go, we're going to have all Sierra Nevada today. Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta
move on.
San Diego Beer Week. It was a good time. I do thank you, San Diego, for having me, and White Labs and Stone and Society, especially. It was really great to see you all down there, and I had some fun. Ballast Point Tasting Room. The new one was just amazing. So thanks for having me, everybody. A lot of fans in San Diego. It was nice to meet a few of you.
Only a few of you.
Others were yelling from across the street. San Diego's a weird town. I'm like walking into places and they're like, it's Justin! What? Can't see. My eyes are going anyway. So I don't know if I know the person or it's a fan, but it turns out we have a lot of fans in San Diego.
Good.
I did not go to one thing where I didn't meet some fans, and that was a lot of fun.
Maybe you should look Justin Bieber.
It could be that. Hey, it's JT. I would prefer to look like JT.
Yeah?
Isn't he the handsomer one? Bevo? Who's the handsomer one?
You don't look like JT.
Talking about JTT, or are we talking about Justin Timberlake?
Then Bieber is the handsomer one.
No.
No.
Bieber looks like a turd. Justin Timberlake's beautiful.
Yeah, but
you don't look like Justin Timberlake.
He's a rich turd.
You don't look like Bieber either.
No, well, that's good. So I'm somewhere cross between a turd and a beautiful man.
You look a little like Jesus.
You're a beautiful turd.
Oh, Jesus was considered beautiful.
Or the guy from the caveman from the Geico commercials.
Out of respect, not because he was hot.
I think that's more accurate.
It's because he was the only white guy in the Middle East.
You're an idiot.
That Doc might be onto something.
Yeah.
No.
He's on something
he's
for
not.
sure. On to something is a different story.
I'm going to go with the caveman. That's my final answer.
All right.
You would.
Every Jesus I've seen is made out of velvet or ceramic, so I can't tell if he's good looking or not.
Not blown plastic?
I've never seen that one.
No.
All right. A couple of things to let you know about. The National Homebrewers Conference 2014 is now accepting proposals to be a speaker / presenter at the National Homebrewers Conference. It's out there in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Moscow?
In 2014.
Well, are they accepting women?
From anybody.
Oh, good.
Oh, they're not like us. They're neither chauvinist, racist, or rape condoning.
Are they homophobic?
Can I get a job with them?
Right.
You wouldn't fit in, though.
I know, right?
No, you're already tainted.
All right.
Taint.
The release says they are now officially accepting seminar proposals for the 2014 conference. It'll take place June 12th through the 14th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Proposals for seminars are now being accepted and will be reviewed by the American Homebrewers Association Governing Committee. That's me. Conference subcommittee, local conference committee, and AHA staff. Everybody gets a look at them to try to pick the best and put on the best conference. This year's conference theme, which is Mashing in Michigan, will cover a broad range of educational seminars focused on a variety of topics. Here are some suggested topics of interest, but of course they're not limited to these. But just a few things out there: homebrewing, cider making, and mead making processes, of course, homebrewing equipment. You can cover ingredients, especially when you get to things like alternative ingredients, spices, things like that. Going pro, those always make good topics, especially nowadays. Everybody wants to go pro. Professional brewers, brewery owners, homebrew shop owners, anybody who's interested in giving a discussion about going pro into the beer industry. Beer styles, homebrew retail. Tasting and judging beer are always very popular, and maybe forming and maintaining a club as clubs become more and more popular.
Oh, we should go to one of those.
Yeah, we should figure out how to do it.
No way.
A club.
You guys know nothing about that.
All right, interested parties are asked to review the presentation guidelines and requirements, and then you submit a proposal for a seminar or poster. And you do that over at ahaconference.org. And then when you get there, you click on conference, and there's a drop-down menu. You'll see it, call for presentations. So just go to ahaconference.org, and you'll navigate your way over there. You can download the form to submit. And, I recommend, if you've got some good ideas, if you've been homebrewing for a while, if you're a professional in the area, it's a lot of fun giving those presentations.
It is.
And people really enjoy getting that kind of education from the hands-on experience that you might be able to offer. So head on over to ahaconference.org and check it out.
I think I'll do one this year.
Tasty, you should.
I should.
You should do a proposal.
Yeah. I'm going to tell dirty stories about myself.
People would like that.
The whole way through.
You know what?
No,
Really?
I actually have a brewing topic.
Standing room only.
You don't want to reveal it yet? Or do you want to reveal it?
My topic would be...
Janice Brown?
Janice. We would be pouring it during the talk.
Of course.
Nice.
Would be on brewing consistency.
That's a great topic.
Yeah.
That would be that's the exact kind of thing that people are looking for experience. How can we repeat our favorite recipes?
Exactly.
Well, submit a proposal, Tasty. I'll, if it's any good, I'll put in a good word with the committee.
Thanks.
Shouldn't they be asking Tasty instead of him going to them?
That's why I've never done it before. They've never asked.
He hasn't gotten that email yet.
I guess they don't want me.
Right. No, you got to submit these things.
Yeah.
Sometimes the local committee does reach out and ask people to do them. They stopped asking me years ago, and I don't blame them.
Right.
We ran that course. Anyway.
We did a good talk.
I do have a secret up my sleeve, though.
No.
But I can't reveal it yet.
No.
Well, then why would you say anything?
Because it's too sensual.
But I will tease that we have been asked to potentially participate in an exciting opportunity. I don't want you to...
Oh, my God.
I don't want you to even take guesses, but
right.
I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be stoked when I'm allowed to reveal it. It's going to be fun. All right. Winter Brews Fest is Saturday, January 25th. It's in Todos Santos Park in Concord. And it's coming up. We're going to be selling tickets very soon. Just stay tuned for that. We're putting together some final details. But you can mark the date and the time. It's Saturday, January 25th from noon to 4 in Todos Santos. We've had a great run there, and we're continuing it. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can send Homebrewer of the Week nominations to Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Is that where they're going? They going to Scott or they going to feedback?
No, they're going to Scott.
They're going to me.
Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. We're going to show you our first Homebrewer of the Week segment tonight. That'll be a good time. So, Homebrewer of the Week, Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Dr. Homebrew, Brew Strong, Brewing with Style, all of our other shows are available in iTunes and on the homepage. Just keep an eye out there. JP also does a great job of notifying you via our Facebook whenever the shows are posted. So, a lot of shows still happening on the BN if you didn't know. Great way to support the Brewing Network is by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage. You then go sign up. You then go shop on Amazon like you normally do, but we get a little credit for it. Do we have an Amazon product of the week?
Yeah, very briefly, it is the Everything Hard Cider book. Our lovely guest from last week, Drew Beecham's book. 19 copies were ordered through the Amazon link.
Nice.
And that's good for everybody, so thanks for getting those.
That's awesome. iPhone and Android apps are available. Just search BN Mobile in iTunes or the Android Marketplace. They're free. So, no reason you shouldn't download it. You get to listen to whatever's streaming at the time live. You can watch all this live over at thebrewingnetwork.com/TV. I don't know if that's going now, but you can.
Normally, you can hear it. The audio is playing. But at the break here, I'm going to reboot everything.
All right. Subscribe and join the BN Army. Become a donor. I feel like I should stop mentioning that you can watch live, because it doesn't seem now that it's like every other week that I say you can watch live, but not right now.
Yeah, things have been messy.
Kind of feeling like an asshole for having to say that.
Things have been a little messy lately, but part of it's Scott's fault, part of it's the system. So
pretty sure Scott doesn't have anything to do with it.
Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it right now. I shouldn't even brought it up.
I'm pretty sure if there's anyone to blame, it's not Scott.
Let's not talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Let's just move on.
All right.
Forget I even
the things
said.
growing on JP's face's fault.
I think they're called hairs.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's got a great beard.
You
going.
have them. They're just not as long, Beef.
I know. I take care of them before they get that long.
You have them. They're just bleached.
Ew.
All right.
Maybe.
I don't know why I'm taking JP's side.
You should.
Sign up for all these and more over on Twitter and
Facebook.
Send your show ideas to Scott, thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Do we have a Twitter game today?
Yeah, we already did it.
Oh, we did?
Define Misled.
Okay, Define Misled. Twitter game is brought to you today by craftbeer.com. Our good friends over at craftbeer.com, where you can find beer recipes, new trends in craft beer, new breweries in craft beer. You can get updates on events happening in craft beer. It's, pretty much the central place to go for everything craft beer. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer, brings you our Twitter game, which is to define
Misled. So maybe we should use it in a sentence to help people define Misled.
You got misled.
Well, can they define it and use it in a sentence?
Sure, they can do whatever they want.
But in one Twitter post is the problem.
Sure, if they're creative and crafty enough, why not?
All right.
Fine.
Define it and use it in a sentence in 140 characters?
Well, maybe we should use it in a sentence. Like, let's use it in conversational English to help people define it.
That'll help.
Well...
Or maybe not.
I want an original definition.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Because I can say, like, JP, you just got misled.
Yeah.
And that's a good enough sentence that is nondescript. It doesn't say what I did to you.
Right.
But what would it mean if I said, JP, I'm totally going to misle you?
It's that misle culture that I don't like.
Yeah.
Hey, before we wrap up with announcements, I did have one last thing, which is in addition to the Homebrewer of the Week, if you'd like to be featured. Also, don't forget to continue sending us your homebrew disaster stories, because we're still doing those. We're doing another one tonight, and we're always looking for more entries.
Brilliant. We always need more.
Where should those go? Scott?
Feedback? No, Scott.
Justin?
Yeah, send them to me. Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com.
All right.
Justin.
All right, let's do a little bit of feedback.
Oh, my God!
You've got mail.
Kick ass. Can't believe we're doing feedback in the middle of the show.
Especially since it's taken me an hour to get here already.
Yeah, I know.
Feedback's brought to you today by Keystone Homebrew. You can go to KeystoneHomebrew.com. All right, Colin writes in, hey, g'day, guys. I started all grain brewing about 12 months ago and have a nice 3-vessel brewery with 2 temperature-controlled fermentation fridges and a kegerator. The information you guys provide has been invaluable and has taken my beer from embarrassing to award-winning. In the past year, I brewed a beer for the Queensland Homebrewers Conference, which came second. Brewed commercially for a local brew pub in Brisbane and picked up second places in the Queensland Brewers Championships. I just picked up also a first for my IPA in the Australian Championships. Wow. You definitely have gone from shitty to good, apparently.
In just 12 easy months.
That's Colin.
It could happen.
Sent for my shitty work laptop. All right. Good job, brother. All right. Who's this one? Sex Panther writes in.
Hey, Sex.
Dearest BN Fuck Nuggets. I discovered...
Well, that's rude.
It is rude,
but not altogether untrue.
It's a weird
salutation.
It's a weird
It's
word.
like he tried to outdo himself. Like, he thought of something offensive, and then he was like, nah.
Yeah, so he's like,
and then he sat back
I'll
for a while. Like, the salutation took longer than the entire feedback.
You might be right, Vivo. Well, let's see. I discovered the Brewing Network back in late 2009 and have been listening to every show that's been produced under the BN banner. Between the Jamil Show, Brew Strong, The Session, I've learned how to brew beer that went from my first batch, which tasted like dirty pennies and chlorine, to beers that I'm brewing on a Spiedel Braumeister,
which now only tastes like dirty pennies.
Right. That I'm damn proud to serve and thinking of entering into competitions. I'm also loving JP's newish show, Dr. Homebrew. I think it's a great format. Interactive judge score sheet genius. Anyway, he goes on to say, I just made a $25 donation to pitch in and helping keep Jay's high-end lifestyle funded. Thank you. And JP complaining about how he doesn't have a drug plan.
I don't. And you know what? Let me tell you all about it.
He goes on to PS about lunch meat, but who knows that?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Cheers from Sex Panther. All right. Matt writes in... I thought it was just funny what JP highlights for me to read.
I don't know.
Have to because you highlighted this one, but it doesn't make any sense unless I read the thing above it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you kind of got to preface the whole thing.
Oh, my God. Well, it's a bunch of cursing with Jesus in it, Bevo. Should I leave out the cursing in Jesus for you? You don't care.
I appreciate that you thought of that. And yes, you should.
All right. Oh, my diddly-doo doody-dod is essentially what it says. What the hell happened after Drew Beecham hung up last week? I love a good meltdown, but what happened after that great cider segment is just unspeakable. I hereby pledge to donate $2 a month as long as that piece of shit doesn't happen again. That's from Matt.
That's fair.
P.S. My new hoodie is totally badass. I don't think we were that bad last week, were we?
I don't think it was bad as in, like, crass, but it went on. It was long in the tooth and not the best meltdown I've ever had.
Which we've gotten yelled at for not doing in a while from several other emails.
I thought it was an awesome
But wasn't
meltdown.
there a part where you were like Sarah and somebody sitting in a tree sing, like, it was a hot damn mess, guys.
I do think Sarah got on the line and we probably tried to see her boobs or something, but what's abnormal about that?
You tried to rape her with your...
Whoa.
Hey, we do not condone rape here.
Doc, do you remember last week?
No.
Exactly.
Bevo, I spent 45 minutes saying how we didn't condone rape before you got here.
And then you took your mouse and you raped her with it.
Oh, that wasn't raping. I was
you
feeling...
were diddling.
She sent the photograph.
Ish.
I touched her cleavage with a digital mouse finger.
Repeatedly.
Well...
It was retarded.
You can't just do it once with that kind of thing. You got to get your money's worth out of it.
Right.
Is that what he's referring to? Did he not like the blog, Bullcrap Beer blog game? That's what we did.
That was a good game. He didn't say. He just said the whole meltdown.
He said everything after Drew hung up.
What is it with people? They make charges and they don't give the
You know
example.
what? It's only one person.
Well, I'm glad he pledged to do $2 a month, but I say fuck him. Fuck you. Take that, Matt.
That's rude.
Thanks for buying a hoodie, too. All right, and now our spam of the week. Hi there, sweet. Would you mind to finding a young and nice girl of 24? My name is Nicole. I'm from Ukraine. Have you ever heard that the loveliest girl in the world live in my country? Don't even doubt. I want to invite you a very nice international family life agency where hundreds of single people are looking for their future lovers. I long for finding a special person for serious relations or even family life. Aren't you the one I'm searching for? I am!
Yeah. How did you know?
I think I am the one. Bevo, I'm the one she's searching for.
You are. Is this from RussianBride.com?
It's from the Ukraine.
Who only knows?
But she hit all the hot
UkrainianBride.com?
Yes, I think that's the one. If she's hot enough, Tasty, you and I. We can,
I'm thinking I might take a couple of those.
I'll take two.
I got 2 open nights next week.
Hey, dude, you got her for a year.
Right. Before she leaves you with citizenship, you mean?
Yeah, before she gets her green card.
And half your shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You can play with that one. But, yeah, you got her for a year.
I don't, KTG, Kate the Great, she's kind of a philanthropist. I don't think she'd mind me taking on...
an au pair?
Yeah, well, it would only be to help her out.
She might appreciate it.
She might think I have a big heart.
Or she might get AIDS. Either one could happen.
Is AIDS rampant in the Ukraine? We don't see. It's comments like that are people are gonna start talking on Twitter.
Shit.
Now we think everybody in the Ukraine has AIDS.
All pair.
Well, everyone needs help in their business.
is that?
Like business aids? This is a dumb joke.
I get
That
it.
was not good.
Yeah,
I get it. Thank you.
So you get a clean house and a dirty...
I don't have to if I get a wife from Ukraine.
You just dirty something else.
Hi, sweetie. Oh, by the way, the spam of the week from last week, which I followed up asking for this person, it never got a reply.
Oh, see, it's not even good. It's not even a good scam.
No.
Reply to. She doesn't even leave a name. A reply to, would you mind to finding a young, nice girl of 24? Would you?
Okay. Yeah, that's not a very Ukrainian name.
Just call it that. Dear, would you mind to finding a young and nice girl of 24?
Would you mind to?
I really liked your message.
What do you smell like?
Is that a common pickup line?
It's a good question.
Internet dating.
She's in another country. We don't know if she bathes.
Is this internet dating or is this just like...
It's screening.
Gap.com.
We're screening.
I don't think it could be called internet dating as much as mail order briding.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Screening.
I wouldn't mind.
You want to feel good about yourself? You should go to one of those mail order bride websites.
Really?
They're sad.
Oh, there's parts of Nantucket where I am considered a handsome man.
Is it pretty gnarly on there sometimes? I thought the Russian brides were particularly good. I thought that's why they're so successful.
Oh, they're good.
Oh.
But they have like success stories, quote unquote, and they'll have this tall, thin 20-year-old woman next to Doc.
Sweet. I have no complaints.
Lucky her, right? That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's what Bevo meant.
She got out of Russia. That's the only bit that's lucky.
She only has to do what I want her to do for like a year.
Now, that's why we get called chauvinists, Doc. Why can't you just help her?
I'm helping her.
Do things you want her to do.
Teach her the American way.
That's right.
First of all, rape.
Bevo, stop saying that. You're going to get accused of it, too.
Yeah.
Wait,
she
did you
wasn't
guys
here.
get accused of rape? I wasn't here.
Our listeners don't listen. See, that's the problem.
Right. We got accused of things we didn't do, as usual.
I'm just talking about the dishes and like making the bed.
Doc doesn't even... He's not talking about... We just need
another dialogue.
Need some dishes done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Teach the kids to like turn off the light when they leave the room.
That's just impossible.
So parent.
So you're looking for a parent.
I'm looking for a parent. Exactly.
Doc wants a nanny.
Yeah.
All pair.
I think if you respond to, would you mind to find a young, nice girl of 24, you might get what you're looking for.
They can handle my kids and turn them into adults.
She could become, would you mind to finding a young and nice girl of 24 Lothamer?
Or maybe Sam should have like hooked into that about 10 years ago.
I think he did.
Yeah, he tried.
Listen, if anybody won the lottery, it's Sam.
Yay.
He was down a dark path of loneliness and despair.
Bevo, you hide your Russian accent really well.
Thank you.
Now he's not lonely.
Sam sent me to school to do that with all of his money. Oh, wait.
Right. I learned from American TV. BJ and the Bear.
Is it BJ and the Bear? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I am the bear.
And the bear was a monkey, so that's...
I am the bear.
Got it. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do our brand new segment, Home Brewer of the Week. It's the session. We're also going to be talking about gravity versus IBUs with Doc and Tasty. So hang in there. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months to the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in a can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack can.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry, and to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just 1 day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
As a brewer, you already don't settle for second best. You want great tasting beer and you want great equipment to make it with. So don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster Mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster Mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Don't settle for second best. Get a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
Session.
Brewing up our next batch of radio gold.
Right now.
All right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks to our sponsor, More Beer, for bringing you this program and every program. Don't forget that in just a little while, we're going to be talking gravity versus IBU. And in my opinion, we got a couple professionals here to help us do that, and that's Tasty and Doc. Also, I got a rumor that Jamil's going to call in and help us out with that, too. Figure we ought to get a little pro side on the information. I think Jamil happens to have a little bit of time to join us tonight and talk about that, too. You know that he's kind of a hop utilization expert as well, so why not get him in on the mix? In the meantime, it's time for our brand new segment, which is Homebrewer of the Week. Do we need to know the premise of this segment before I play it?
No, let's just feature him. You'll get the idea.
We're just going to go for it?
Yeah.
All right, then let's start Homebrewer of the Week.
It's time for your close-up.
Now, the BN Homebrewer Spotlight, brought to you by Logic.
Yes, Logic, the best cleaning supplies you can buy. Bringing you this week's Homebrewer of the Week. We're going to feature Ash White. Dude named Ashley. He's out in England, so it's about 3 in the morning his time. He's on the line with us. But he wrote me, and he had me in the first paragraph of his email because he said, you know, I thought I would write in as an interesting brewer, as I reckon I'm the most frugal, or tight, as his wife would say, brewer out there. He said he's been brewing for about 5 months, but it took him a year to build his brew house while reading and listening to as much on the subject as he could possibly ingest. He said he works 2 jobs to keep his wife and 3 kids at his side. So money is tight, and he compiled his brewery painfully slowly. However, the resulting beer has been fantastic. He said despite his minimal budget, he has persisted in amassing brewing equipment through FreeCycle, eBay, friends and family, and he said he has spent less than £150, which, I don't know, is that like $1,000? I don't know.
It's about $300, I think.
I think it's like $8.
He has spent that amount on a full all-grain system with fermenting chamber and a twin-tap kegerator system, and I just had to know how the man did it.
Wow. Welcome to the program, Ash, and it sounds like you're the perfect first guest for our Homebrewer of the Week. How are you, man?
Oh, is it a Skype settings thing?
JP, did you do a show in here while I was gone?
I did.
Did you put the things back where they're supposed to be?
I did.
I'm going to go onto the desk right now.
Please do, because I think I did it properly.
If they're not there, this is the point Doc was mentioning earlier in the show.
Where you're,
where the smoke, where I fizzle.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
While you're looking under the desk.
Well, I clearly didn't. I mean, let's be honest. If it's not working, then I'm the reason why.
God damn it! Ash said he converted his mash...
program is coming to an end.
His mash tun he converted to a cool box, and that was from FreeCycle, with a copper manifold made to John Palmer specifications from bits in his old man's shed. Are we good?
Ash, are you there, buddy?
Hey there, I'm here.
What a sweet-sounding voice you have. That sound is music to JP's ears.
Cool.
All right, sorry about the little mix-up there. It sounds like you're the perfect guy to have on Homebrew of the Week for the first time. How the hell, Ash, are you able to homebrew on such a frugal budget, man?
Well, literally, like I said in my email, man, I spent loads of time putting all this stuff together. Yeah, it's probably well over a year getting what I've got now up together. But yeah, just being a tight ass, really.
It's nice to hear because, you know, we've talked about on this show, and there's even been surveys out there where we kind of get the opinion of homebrewers. Is it cheaper to homebrew, you know, than to buy beer? And really, overwhelmingly, the answer is no, that it's more expensive. So to hear an example of a guy like you piecing things together and get your beer done on the cheap, where are you finding equipment?
Yeah, well, I get on, like I say, FreeCycle, eBay, sort of friends, family, just keep my eye peeled. I mean, it is a long-term game, you know, you can't jump on the first thing you see, but
right.
Yeah, I run, a twin kegerator and a little fermentation chamber that I built for, I don't know, about £100 maybe.
Okay.
And, nothing really. And the rest of it, I've picked up pretty much for free the whole brewing side of things. Just, playing the game, keep my eye out there.
So you got to be patient. You can't. See, this is my problem too, especially when I first got into it. Is I want to brew this weekend. I don't have the things I need, and then I jump on Craigslist. I would try Craigslist, but if I don't find it, oh fuck it. Yeah, get out the credit card, and I'm buying whatever I need because I have no patience.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. The temptation is always there, isn't it? Just going like, nice thing, steel brewing pot, ching, next. But,
right.
No, well, this is like I say. I've got a wife, 3 kids. I work 2 jobs, so trying to keep costs down is a must.
Now, I'm looking at your photograph on Skype, and either you started having children at 7 years old, or that's a photo of one of your children.
Was that? No, that's a photo of me that one of my kids has messed about with.
Even though you have an extra chromosome and you live in a home.
But look at it, guys. Even though it's one of those like warped photos that you can do like with the iPhone, he still looks like a young person.
Yes.
How old are you,
You
Ash,
do look young.
with your 3 kids?
27.
27!
Wow. How old are your kids?
24.
What have I got? A 7-year-old and 18-month-old twins.
Oh, you did start early.
Yeah.
Still, he started at 20.
Well, it's that binge drinking culture in the UK that I think is terrible. We should that's what we really have you on to talk about, Ash, is your drinking culture.
Are you saying that one night he came home drunk and knocked up his wife at 20 years old?
Who
is
hasn't
that what
that
you're
happened to?
insinuating?
I'm talking about twice. 2 times.
Ash,
so he's like the UK version of Blobber.
Ash, is that what happened?
Yeah, something along those lines. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
There we go.
JP was on to something.
Bevo shaking her head. She says, no way, that can happen.
Yeah, right. It also happened to Bevo and Sam. All right, let's start
Plus
with...
she's in a glass cage.
Let's start with some of your brewing equipment that you got for free, because I think that's a topic of interest to some of our listeners. You mentioned that you have a 2-tap kegerator that you essentially built for free. What did you use for that?
Oh, yeah, picked up an old fridge freezer off of Free Cycle. I managed to find 2 corny kegs online that had been listed. The guy had spelt it with an I, instead of a Y, so nobody found it. And I managed to pick 2 corny kegs up for 80 quid.
Nice
word.
Wait. How did you find it?
Just searching, just pissing around. I do nothing for a living, so I search on Google all day, basically.
Wow, what great luck.
It's a good question you asked, Moscow, and I think Ash is onto something. Whatever you're looking for, whether it's brewing equipment or not, it's an old eBay trick. If you just try all the misspellings of words, and you do end up finding some stuff. People are idiots. They do not know how to spell check.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Rely on the idiots. It's definitely a good way to go on a frugal brewer.
Yeah. All right.
So I got that, and then picked myself up a decent little flow adjustable tap, and then literally I was working my second job in a pub, running around, and I found an identical tap just in this box of random crap, and I was like, well, I'll have that away, lovely stuff, link them up.
I can steal that.
So you stole it. Well, he borrowed it.
Right.
What's the term? Clipped it or
they were never going to use it.
Yeah, I know we're going to use that. The guy that put it there is probably dead. He nicked it. Yes.
I love the rationale too there, and he's right. They were never going to use it.
No, the guy that put it there is probably dead.
Almost definitely. That's
I can't believe it's identical to the tap that you already had.
That was a crazy bit. As I said, I just spent. I think I spent about 50 quid on the tap. So the keg rate was an expensive setup for my brewing, but finding an identical tap was an absolute score. So I set them up. Then in the freezer section of the fridge freezer, I just stuck an STC controller on there for my fermentation. So all in all, I think about 110 quid, twin kegerator and fermentation chamber.
Oh, and the whole thing is one unit, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I like that. Now, what about your brew system? You said that's essentially free too. What does your setup look like?
Oh, pretty much. What have I got? I got a 6-gallon cool box that I built a copper manifold for, just out of bits of copper lying around in the old man's shed. Bought a bulkhead for it for a couple of pounds, stuck a ball valve tap on it, perfect little mash tun. What do I run to? A little old tea urn that used to be used in a church that they were giving away on Free Cycle. holds 6 gallons, so I brew up in that thing and use it as a hot liquor tank prior to...
Hang on, Ash. Hang on one second. I just got to make sure I'm following along. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm having to translate as we go. Like, I feel like I'm speaking a different language.
What do you mean?
So the cold box...
Exactly.
The cold box is a cooler, right? And then he's...
Yeah.
Okay, then he's got the manifold... And by the way, our English listeners are like, yeah, you fucking idiot.
Right.
And then he's got the manifold built inside. The bulkhead is what? What's the bulkhead?
Oh, like the bit that goes through the side of the cool
The spigot.
box.
That's what I thought too, Tasty. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think you mean the shank.
It's
the shank.
It's the sidewall.
It's the shank.
Yeah, the wall to go through.
It's the wall
that it goes through.
Right. So he puts the shank through the
bulkhead.
Through the bulkhead.
So you can get,
But the bulkhead, it's a cooler. The bulkhead.
But all coolers have a bulkhead.
They do.
And you got to put the shank through the bulkhead.
Idiot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the connector bit to go through the wall.
Now the English and the Americans are calling me an idiot. Perfect. All right,
are you misled?
I think I just got misled.
Once we translate it, you still don't get it. So you're an idiot.
Yeah. All right, go on. Now you got to the hot liquor tank, I think.
Yeah. Got a big old 6-gallon old tea urn from a church that they were giving away on Free Cycle.
What's a tea urn? Is that like a sauce pot?
Yeah, a big electric one. Yeah, it's got a great big element.
It's not where
where you plug it in, it makes hot water automatically.
So it's not where they kept like the holy water.
It's no, the tea urn literally to make hot water for tea. Got it.
And then, tamper with the old thermostat so it goes on permanently. I get a nice rolling boil with that and use that as a brew pot as well.
That's pretty smart, actually. You got an electric hot liquor tank / brew pot right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she works a dream. Yeah, holds a good rolling boil for 90 minutes. It's not conked out on me yet.
Beautiful. And you got that for free as well?
Yeah, that was on the Free Cycle, given away sort of just up the road from me.
Okay, all right.
Well, and it'll never conk out because it's blessed by Jesus.
That's right. At some point in its life.
And Hamilton Beach.
I mean, we don't know what the hell Ash did to it, but before Ash, it got blessed. Yeah. All right. What else? Fermentation vessels.
Yeah. Some old boy giving away all his old winemaking equipment on Free Cycle. I got 3 bucket fermenters.
By the way, Ash works for Free Cycle.
Yeah.
Fucking love
no wonder he doesn't make any money.
That's his day job.
He works for Free Cycle and then S-Mart. Nobody.
Yeah, picked them, and that come with all hydrometers and sort of little demi-johns and loads of bits and bobs there. So that was an absolute score. That sort of bottle cap, a load of caps. That was all the sort of little bits and bobs that you'd usually spend a few quid on that I managed to pick up.
It's all the bits and bobs that just suck you right down.
Yeah, it gets expensive on that shit. So, wow. Now, so let me ask you this, because you haven't been brewing for too long, have you?
No. I've only done sort of 4 or 5 batches or so.
So you mentioned you got two kids, right? Or 3 kids? 3 kids, 2 jobs is what it was. And of course, the wife. So how does the conversation go in the beginning? Because you go to your wife and you go, "Hey, I think I want to get into brewing," and she says, "The fuck you are! We can't afford that." So you have to convince her you can do it on the cheap, or what?
The fuck you are.
What happened there?
Yeah, Jeez, I'm trying to think how the hell I got into it. I think I was trying to build a drinks carbonizer at home just to piss about with the eldest. I don't know, show him, carbonising liquids and things. Then we tried making some homemade lemonade, and then I did a couple of wines, and then I just slowly sort of started acquiring bits and bobs. And ended up with this brew system, and it's just sort of appeared in the sheds.
That's
not much saying it, really.
I love to hear it.
Does any other hobby...
No, I don't understand it. I'd love to hear it.
Yes.
Does any other hobby work that way, where you just spend such a long period of time not engaged in the hobby, but just preparing for it?
I think there are some, but homebrewing is definitely one that people either are like me and they just go out one day and get everything and make the worst beer on the planet, or we've heard from a few listeners where they really listen and study and plan and accumulate the equipment and then finally do it.
Well, for a year, though, I mean, like model airplanes, if you go out to the airfield, there's the dudes flying their remote control helicopters. I mean, are there those guys who spend a year building their thing before they even hit the airfield?
Maybe.
It's inconceivable. I mean,
typically they'd start with a small plane and work up to it.
That makes sense.
But they don't. Yeah.
Ash, his dream was to have an all grain system on his first bat. So
I love it.
Well, so did you do the equivalent of going to the airfield? Did you go to like a homebrew club and just kind of hang out?
Yeah, we haven't really got a lot of homebrew clubs around here. I've got a little brewery around the corner. I ended up sort of just going down and hanging out with him for a while and just chatting to him. He used to homebrew, and he just gave me a lot of pointers. He was a guy that said, build yourself a fermentation box, get that sorted, because that's going to be your number one thing that is going to produce good beer, is getting a sound fermentation. And
good advice.
He even sort of gave me the plans of building a little controller box at the STC 1000.
Nice.
What's controller job, so yeah.
What's the brewery? Give him a plug. He helped you out.
Oh, Alfred's Brewery in Winchester. Well worth checking out. Delicious beer. Yeah, Steve up there's an absolute legend, real friendly chap.
There you go. Sounds like he helped you.
What about your first beer? What was the first batch you brewed, and was it successful?
Yeah, I did an extract brew first off. On his advice again, he said, you're going to have a lot of stuff to worry about, so try and keep it simple. And I just did an Amarillo ale.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah. Nice, clean, easy. I took a couple of bottles up to him for a bit of a professional verdict. It was nice, clean, easy drinking beer. Certainly couldn't grumble.
How many gallons are you? Well, I guess whatever
hectoliters
measurement.
I think there's centiliters. How
much beer are you making?
5 gallon batches. Yeah.
It's 5 gallon batches.
Liters.
Does your wife drink beer?
Nah, she doesn't drink it.
No, good for you.
Oh, hell no.
Keep all 5 gallons to yourself.
She's all pure and stuff.
Damn straight.
What is your day job, Ash?
Me, I work for the NHS.
I don't know what that is.
That makes good sense to us.
The health system.
Oh, the national healthcare system in England.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably work over here.
Obamacare.
Not quite. I'm pretty sure it's working over there.
Well, depends on who you talk to.
Ash?
Yeah, it's limping along.
There you go.
Weird.
All right. Well, Ash, thank you for sharing with us. You're a great example for Homebrewer of the Week. That's good information for people trying to do it on the cheap, man. Free cycle.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely doable. Yeah, you just got to keep your eye out there, play the long game.
You should get Free Cycle tattooed to your chest.
Free Cycle?
Yeah, but don't pay the tattoo artist.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, barter system.
Let me ask you this. On a percentage basis, what percentage of things in your entire home came from Free Cycle?
My home, about 4%. My shared, about 90%.
There we go. Nice. I love it. All right, Ash. Thanks for being on the program, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, brother. All right.
There you go. The Homebrewer of the Week was brought to you by Logic Inc. Go to EcologicCleansers.com. The benefits of cleaning and sanitizing your homebrewing equipment are crystal clear, just like your brew. The best cleaners available. EcologicCleansers.com.
I love it. Love it. I just love it. I like Homebrewer of the Week.
Free Cycle.
I got bits and bobs out of that.
I love the English.
Yeah,
I think
odds and ends, us, right?
Their little slangy words for bullshit is awesome.
Bits, and he didn't say pounds.
Now, keep in mind,
it's all about quid.
Not all English sound the same. Like, he had a particularly
Yeah, I think he was more like Central England, I think.
You have no idea.
I think I really.
Yeah?
I watch a lot of BBC. Right?
I know where this one goes.
Which side of London?
I would say Upper West.
Yep.
Don't misel people that you know anything about Europe.
You are definitely miseling people right now.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think there's some miseling going on. All right. Thanks to Ash and thanks to Logic. Here's what we'll do. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's time to start talking about gravity and hops. Jamil Zainasheff from Heretic Brewing Company and the Brewing Network, by the way, will join us. And Tasty and Doc will walk us through some of the great techniques for mastering hoppy beer without it being too goddamn bitter. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
BN Army, I'm here to talk seriously for a second. You all are partially responsible for something explosive, and it's time you answer for it.
Moonlight Meadery is exploding.
Yeah, exploding across the country. Wait, they just landed in Australia with insane quality meads.
With nearly 70 different varieties of mead on the market, Moonlight Meadery has blown up the mead category and completely reinvented it.
Seriously?
What?
Seriously?
What?
You're paying money for that watered-down mead when you could have a Moonlight mead?
Moonlight meads explode with quality and flavor.
They're a party in a bottle.
Did someone say party?
If you want mead and want the best, you want meads from Moonlight Meadery and will accept nothing less.
Be a part of the BN Mead explosion and ask for, no, demand Moonlight Meads at your favorite bottle shop.
Moonlight Meads. Girly names, manly meads.
Hey, sign me up for that party.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I love a bold, hoppy beer, one that spits resin in your face and makes you cry uncle. There are a lot of great hoppy beers out there, but at Heretic, we want to make something as bold, dank, and resiny as possible. We use hops at every chance we get, including multiple dry hop additions. The result is Heretic Evil Cousin. This light golden, 8% Imperial IPA has an easy malt character that helps take the edge off the massive bittering, but it takes a back seat to the in-your-face hop character. We make sure this beer finishes dry so the hops can jump out and slam you in the taste buds. If you can't get enough hoppy goodness, Evil Cousin is your cup of tea. Cheers.
One of the last things many brewers try to master is the ingredient that makes up most of their beer, water. Brewers Publications is pleased to announce Water, a comprehensive guide for brewers of all levels by How to Brew author John Palmer and professional brewer Colin Kaminsky.
Hi, I'm John Palmer. This book is the result of many years of asking the tough questions about water to professional brewers and brewing scientists, and we are very pleased with how it turned out. It's the first book that is solely about water treatment throughout the brewing process. The book is intended for all brewers, from homebrewers to professionals, and we hope you like it.
From how to read a water report to treating your wastewater and everything in between, Water is the comprehensive guide you've always wanted on brewing's least understood ingredient. Flavor contributions, water chemistry, and adjusting water to styles of beer. John and Colin will teach you everything you need to know. Water is available from brewerspublications.com and fine brewing booksellers near you. Take the mystery out of your brewing water. Visit brewerspublications.com for your copy of Water today. All right, BN Army, it's trivia time. What's the only homebrew shop with over 1,000 recipe kits, $4.99 shipping on orders over $100, and is also home of the Wolf shirt? The one and only answer is Austin Homebrew Supply. For over 20 years, they've specialized in creating recipes such as the best-selling Texas Blonde Ale, Apocalypso, Hop Bomb 2.0, and Double Chocolate Stout. And they just recently unveiled their small grain kits that produce 1 gallon of beer. Visit AustinHomebrew.com to browse their extensive catalog of equipment and ingredients. They also have mini clone recipes of your favorite commercial beers. They're the exclusive retailer of BrewVent yeast fuel as well, Yeast Nutrient, and the all-new Bodybuilder. Follow Austin Homebrew Supply on Google Plus to participate in video hangouts on popular brewing topics. So visit AustinHomebrew.com today and make sure you sign up for their weekly email with news and specials. Austin Homebrew Supply, AustinHomebrew.com.
Downtown Joe's, where everyone is welcome, especially if you like drinking and tasting beer. Head brewer Colin Kaminsky's favorite beers are the Tantric IPA and the Double Secret Probation IPA. But you'll have loads of others to choose from when you redeem your exclusive Brewing Network savings. Downtown Joe's is the best brewery destination and the hottest night spot in Napa. Colin invites all homebrewers and fans of craft beer to stop by and enjoy the great food and beer. Whether you're in the mood for riverside dining, live music, or just hanging out at the bar to meet a person of the opposite sex or a person of the same sex, Downtown Joe's has exactly what you're looking for. And now just mention the Brewing Network to receive $1 off your beer at Downtown Joe's. That's right, take $1 off every one of their great selection of craft beers, including the Lazy Summer Wheat, Golden Thistle Porter, and the Triple Dog Dare You. Come to Downtown Joe's and enjoy the laid-back atmosphere of Napa's best brew pub. Visit downtownjoes.com right now for current beers, the live music schedule, or to drool over their delicious menu items. Downtown Joe's, your neighborhood brew pub where everyone is welcome.
What's funny is Bruce will say, "Yeah, I don't brew the style. I'm brewing my own beer, and it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know."
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
Tuned into The Session. Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Got a lot to do left in this show, including talk about gravity versus hops. We got our good friend Jamil Zainasheff on the line from Heretic Brewing Company, originally of the Brewing Network, however. Hi, Jamil.
Hey. How's it going, buddy?
It's good. Thanks for being on the show with us.
I'm glad to be here.
I figured I'd have you on while I do, just real quickly to remind people. I figured you could help out. You're pretty good at this. You know, if you're looking to spice things up in the bedroom.
Oh yeah,
like Jamil likes to do every now and then.
That's what I hear.
Every day.
Air day over there. You can go ahead and check out adamandeve.com right now, and for a limited time you're going to get 50% off just about any one item. You're going to get free shipping. You're going to get 3 free adult DVDs from genres such as, I don't know, Jamil, what's a great genre that you like over there?
Anal.
That's always a good one. There's Asian, there's big butts, there's
co-ed in college.
Yeah.
Lesbian.
That's a big. JP's a big fan of that.
It's the only porn you should really be watching. If your porn has a penis in it, you're doing it wrong.
So there's that. There's also there's all kinds of.
That's one penis too many. He's saying.
Yes. Plus a free gift so sensual we can't even Jamil can't talk about it on internet radio.
But he could.
And he's good at talking about the things that make people uncomfortable, but he cannot talk about this sensual gift.
I'm not allowed.
Yeah. So head on over to adamandeve.com and use coupon code BNARMY. And I'm serious, guys. They support us. They actually just sent over contracts for 2014. They really like the support that you guys are giving them, and they're supporting us. So go ahead over there, use coupon code BNARMY, and you don't have to go stand in a creepy store and do your thing. You can do it all in the comfort of your home, which is how you're doing the rest of the things anyway, isn't it? So you might as well do your adult shopping from the same place.
Creepy at home.
Yeah. That way you're comfortable that only your cat's looking at you funny.
You know what's great about Jamil is when Adam and Eve signed back up for Brewing with Style, I handed him the sheet with the copy on it, and he went, "Oh, no, I got this." And he went through those categories like, no problem.
Attaboy.
But you can order from your phone as well, in case you're heavy in the car section. You want to order from there.
You can do it right on the go. All right, adamandeve.com, coupon code BNARMY. Check it out. Thanks to those guys for supporting us. So we wanted to talk about gravity versus IBUs in hoppy beers, and really specifically even in IPAs. And I'll set it up just real quickly again in case, of course, Jamil didn't hear the beginning of the show. But I went down to Society Brewing Company in San Diego, which is just a great place. Jamil, you just did an event in San Diego as well, right?
Yeah, I sure did, at downtown Johnny Brown's.
Nice. And did you bring down a bunch of Heretic beer to share with the people, I guess?
No, they ordered it through our distributor down there.
Beautiful. Okay. So I go over to Society and I get the beer tour, and they pour me a beer out of their bright tank that's a Citra IPA. And one of the, I don't know his title exactly, but he's essentially like the beer curator for Sierra Nevada, is there tasting beer with us too. And him and I both just start talking about the uniqueness of this IPA. It was so great. It was, we've talked on the show about a dry, crisp IPA, and this was certainly that. But there was something else to it, too. It was very much a West Coast IPA, but it almost felt sessionable. It wasn't a low-alcohol beer, but the way that it tasted and the way it went down, it was so drinkable that it really felt sessionable. So when I started asking Dougie about it, one of the owners there at Society, we started the conversation about low IBUs, or lower IBUs, I guess is what I really should say, even though it's an IPA. And he mentioned, I'm pretty sure the number was 50 IBUs. But what he said was the reason that works so well and that it's still an IPA is that the beer itself ends up finishing at like 1 Plato or less. And that most of their IPAs, if not all, finish that way as well. And so had he made it what us hopheads in the world like to think, it must be 70, 80, 90, 120. It has to be this enormous amount of IBUs for it to satisfy our hop palate. It was really challenging that because it had the right amount of bitterness and certainly the right amount of hop character. It was an all Citra IPA. But the balance was just fantastic. And instead of going... here's what got me to think about us having this discussion, guys, was instead of doing this where, okay, the only way I can do 90, 100, 105 IBUs is if I do a big gravity, because I got to balance it somehow. Instead, he not only dropped the IBUs, he dropped the gravity as well. And I just thought it made for a great beer.
So it sounds like it was an IPA before the big IPA explosion, and where everyone had to one-up each other, and then you get things like Pliny the Elder, and then everyone has to do them, and then that becomes the benchmark for an IPA. And it sounds like they're bringing it kind of back to respectable, reasonable, level-headed levels.
The only thing I would argue about that, because I think you're right, I think that's close to what they're doing, is that I do think that the old method still would have had higher gravity points. It would have been a higher Plato, even to meet up with 50 IBUs. And this did both. It both dropped the final gravity and dropped the IBUs.
What's the gravity in Plato? And you said 1, but
less than 1.
What is that?
So that's like 1004 or 1003. It's one of the similar things that we do, and I think one of the things about finishing gravity is that finishing gravity can be low or high. That doesn't necessarily control sweetness.
Okay.
So, a lot of the mouthfeel and things like that, you can have a higher finishing gravity and not necessarily be sweeter and fuller and heavier. Which is one of the reasons on Cousin, we were finishing around 1 Plato, and we ratcheted it up a little bit to be about 1.6. So we're finishing around 1006 in gravity points. And the reason we did that is a little fuller mouthfeel, a little more creaminess, a little richer there, but not necessarily sweeter. We're still attenuating out all those sugars, so it finishes nice and dry. But
okay.
You have a little more body to stand on. So, and I think, the big difference in a lot of these beers is an IBU is not necessarily an IBU.
Right.
I mean, it's a measurement, but you can have a 50 IBU in the same beer, and use a different selection of hops to achieve that bittering. And one beer could be really harsh and biting and sharp, and the other one could be smooth and rich and nice and enjoyable. It just depends on what hops you use to achieve that bittering. So it's not as cut and dried as a number.
So this is the essence of what I really liked about the discussion with Dougie, is that he essentially said the same thing, that an IBU is not an IBU is not an IBU. that they're perceived differently. And this I perceived as a great West Coast IPA. Yet it was lower in IBUs, and it didn't have any of the harsh bitterness. And we've talked about that. But so, Jamel, in your experience, and Tasty, I would encourage you to talk about this too. Are there specific varieties of hops then that lend themselves to this formula with the very low gravity and the lower IBUs, yet still being perceived as a big IPA?
Yeah, one of the common threads, over time has been the cohumulone levels. And so, people wanting a lower cohumulone level in their hops because it was a better bittering or, it gave a better perception on hops. And so that was always something that, people would throw about as being important. And I'm not 100% sure on that because, but the selection of hops does play a huge role, and how you treat your water makes a vast difference as well. If you add a lot more, sulfur, add a lot more gypsum, the perception of that hop bitterness becomes sharper and sharper to where it can be really annoying. But if you don't add enough, it could be really very soft and.
All right, so hang on on the water side, because I definitely want to talk about that too. In fact, I'll mention that Society, for example. By the way, we tried to get them on the show; they just ended up busy tonight. But I'm just using them as a reference because it was the beer that sparked this for me. They do all RO water. Their claim is that their San Diego water is pretty bad and that it travels across deserts and miles of everything else before it gets to them.
From Northern California.
So we'll talk about. I definitely want to talk about water, but just before we do that, even some specific varieties. So, for example, like I mentioned, Society was using Citra in this example, and I think it lended itself really well to this style of IPA. What are you using in the Twin that seems to be working?
Citra. We use a lot of Citra and some Columbus as well.
Columbus. Tasty, do you have experience with other hops as well that might lend themselves to this?
Well, yeah. I mean, the low cohumulant hops, they're more typically associated as a flavor hop.
Okay.
Would be, it's, the practicality of brewing is that you'll typically want to use a high alpha kind of hop for bittering, and then use the lower low cohumulant or typically lower alpha for the flavor side.
Okay,
but it's an economic decision too. That's, to me, a lot of the move towards drying beers out and attenuating them was a result of the hop crisis, when people realized that if I can get the finishing gravity down low enough, I can use a lot fewer hops to make this beer balanced towards hoppy.
What an accidental benefit for us, because it gave us a super drinkable beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Were a lot of commercial breweries doing this sort of thing during that crisis?
Yeah, I talked to a lot of them, and they were doing that. Yeah,
so what are other low cohumulone varieties?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Well, Cascade is one for sure.
Okay.
That's a great finishing hop.
Magnum.
Well, there's a huge number of, low cohumulone varieties out there, but, one of the things is, you if you're looking for bittering, if you're looking for flavor, if you're not boiling those hops, the cohumulone level doesn't really play as great a role, I think, than if you're using them for bittering. So for Cousin, we use Apollo, which is a relatively low cohumulone for a very high alpha hop. The cohumulone's in the mid-20s, I think, on that. Okay. And one of the things on Cousin where, we dissolve as much hops in it as you can, and I think we get a real smooth, not harsh bittering from that. And I think part of it's the Apollo, part of it's the water treatment, part of it's, fermentation.
Okay.
But the cohumulone level is what gives the harsh bitterness to a beer, right? If you have a high cohumulone level, you're going to issue a lot of bitterness into the beer, so of a harsh bitterness, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's such a variety of things, and I think the sulfur levels in the water play
would accent
an even bigger role.
Right.
Yeah, it really accents that stuff.
Yeah, it could take over the beer.
Okay, so we can move into that as well. That's fine. So, but let me ask this: as a home brewer, I'm out there looking now. I'm not very experienced in hops, so I want to look for low cohumulone. If 20 in the Apollo is sort of relatively low, like you said, what would be high cohumulone, JZ?
Generally, the cutoff is like 30% or something, I think, is what people say is what you should look for. Make sure it's below 30%.
Okay. All right. So thinking about your hopping in this capacity, and the other thing I wanted to bring up or go back to, Jamil, because you also mentioned the type of malt that you end up using. That you guys went for like a 1.5 Plato to add back some sweetness. But Dougie mentioned to me that their malt bill is also very simple. It's two malts, and even the second malt is used in a very low quantity.
Well, we weren't looking for sweetness. We're looking for more fullness. We were able to attenuate out nice and dry. We use pretty much all pale ale malt, and then we use a sack or two of Crystal 15.
Okay,
and that's it. And we use some dextrose too, a sack of dextrose, and that allows us to attenuate out. We used to use 2 sacks, and it was getting a little too, I thought, thin in body wise. So we cut back on 1, let it come back up, but we're attenuating out so well all the simple sugars in there that there isn't a whole lot of sweetness left, where we raise the finishing gravity just to raise the fullness of the beer, to give it a little bit richer perception, but not a sweeter perception.
Right. And this is kind of, I think, the point about the low gravity yet having body and mouthfeel like you're talking about. We're not looking to make a malt liquor here, where it's, you can attenuate out almost anything, but then if you're left with a dry, bodiless beer, even 50 IBUs is not going to taste balanced or good. So you have to have this kind of backbone. And by simplifying it, just a sack or two of Crystal 15, that's pretty simple. 2-row and a little Crystal 15 gives you enough body. And Evil Twin is a great example of this kind of beer, I think.
Well, I think maybe we should define what we're talking about when we say balanced, because I don't think a 1004 finishing gravity and 50 IBUs is anywhere near balanced, and it's not supposed to be.
Well,
so I think we should maybe we should just clarify what you mean by balance.
Well, there's always going to be a matter of perception, so it's going to be hard to do that. But what struck me about this beer at Society is that it did have it tasted like more IBUs than that, but none of it was harsh. None of it tasted out of whack. You do expect an IPA to taste a little bit out of balance. If balance means that it's even with malt on one side and bitter or hops on the other side, it's not that.
Right.
However, it's not so out of whack that it's either offensive or unpalatable. In fact, it's the opposite. It's balanced toward hops, but it's neither cloying because it was too sweet. Because, to get, like I said, if he were to have gone with 90 IBUs, well, then the gravity would have come up. And then it wouldn't have tasted anywhere near the same, because it would have both been sweet and bitter, really at the same time. So to me, the only thing, the word balance came into play, that it was crisp and easy and hoppy, but it did not leave me feeling like I was having a bitter beer. I certainly could have had another pint. And it wasn't left on my palate. And so to do that with an IPA, knowing all things that an IPA must be, that's balanced to me. That's that he was able to balance on the side of hops.
Okay.
I've looked up some high cohumulone hops just to give you an idea. The growers try and make low cohumulone hops as a general rule because again, better perceptions. And low cohumulone is, around 20%, 20 to mid-20s.
Okay.
As far as high cohumulone that people would have heard of, Chinook, that's 29 to 35% is what they list. Cluster, 37 to 43%, which is quite high. That's maybe one of the reasons people really don't think Cluster is a great hop, a rough hop. Galena, 36 to 40%, and then other hops are going to run in the mid 20s down, and those are low cohumulone hops.
Okay. All right, let's talk water. We got a little backbone on the malt. Keep it simple. I like your and I think yours is similar to Society too. When they mentioned the just the 2 bits of malt, the perception there being that you're adding body but not sweetness. Just keep that in mind. Water. Society is all RO, and then they build it back. Now, I did not get the chance to talk about that build back, but of course we have Doc here and Jamil here to help us with that too. Doc, you were talking to me before the show about 2 things: sulfur and sodium. And one being better for this type of beer, and the other being better for a malty beer.
Yeah, you don't want to have one. You don't want to have both. It's one or the other.
Okay.
They're like, brothers that fight. So you don't want to have both of them in there. And for this beer, you want to accentuate the hop characteristics. So you want to accentuate having more sulfates in there. You're going to get that through gypsum.
Okay.
That's one way to get them in there. And it will get less IBUs in there, and you're going to have more hop characteristics.
Got it.
So
it's pretty easy to.
Yeah, but you got to know where you're coming from. What you said, they were starting with RO water.
So you know exactly where you're coming from because there's nothing in it. Essentially,
they're building it back. You're kind of shooting in the dark if you're just using tap water, not knowing what's already in there.
Okay,
if you haven't had it tested.
So you might be adding gypsum on top of gypsum,
right? Or if you're an extract brewer, the guys that made the extract, they just boil it down, and all those minerals are they're still in the extract.
Okay. Well, let's use Evil Twin as an example again, if we can, Jamil. Are you using RO water or your local water?
These are local water. It's one of the reasons we're in Fairfield.
Okay.
It's good water. And then we add in gypsum. We add in about 2 pounds of gypsum to 34 barrels of wort.
And do you have an idea what ppm that gives you on the sulfates?
We calculated it out at one point, but I'm not sure what
would you be shooting for in your twin, for instance?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. As far as we did it off of flavor to start with, and came to our conclusion of where we're at now. And
would 80 be a safe range?
Yeah, 60, 80. Probably in there, between 50 and 100, I would think. I don't remember what. And after we had decided on what was right, we actually calculated it out. When we moved from Pittsburgh to Fairfield, I think we lost a little bit of sulfur in the transition, but it's still good. We're keeping it right where it's at now. We like it this way. As far as Society, what I heard was they were doing RO water and then blending back in a percentage of their standard tap, just filtered tap, as one of the means of getting their blend.
Got it. It might be the case. We didn't go in depth. He did go sort of into depth about how awful he felt that San Diego water was to begin with, and so wanted to get it right. And by the way, we're going to have them on the show because they're just very meticulous about everything that they do, from their barrel project to every step of the way. So that very well may be the case. I know that I saw a full RO system over there, and he told me that's what they're doing. They might be blending back. Tasty, what is your sulfates target when you do these low finish gravity?
Well, I'm doing like a session beer. Again, I'm... session beer. Say I'm doing an IPA. It definitely want to accentuate the hops. I'm doing 300 ppm on sulfates, and
wow,
about like 80 on calcium, and it's pretty significant. Gypsum. I don't use any chloride, any calcium chloride at all in my hoppy beers, and I'm using RO water. So what I'm putting in is what I'm getting.
There's people that go, 400. Plus, 500 ppm on sulfate.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're shooting for.
When I made my 3.9% session pale ale, I kept that same water profile, and I ended up the beer was way too hoppy, and I had to cut back on the hops to because it really just took over the malt bill, which is can be that big for a 3.9% beer. And then in retrospect, I should have really I should use calcium chloride instead of calcium sulfate to accentuate the maltiness in the beer.
I see.
Because that's the problem with small beer is you need some malt to bounce the hops against, and the more malty, you're going to get more malt character out of a beer with more chlorides.
Right. And see, that was, again, the separation between this beer and like a daytime IPA or a low a session IPA like you're talking about. This was not a session IPA. Yet it still finished out at a really low gravity.
What did it start at?
So I don't know.
Did he tell you the ABV of the beer?
No, but it was big enough.
It tasted like an IPA. It was boozy. And
got a
kick and all that.
Exactly.
So it's probably 6.5%, 7%.
But not so like a blind pig, right? It wasn't like that even. It wasn't even that malty, or it was. I'm telling you, take everything you think of in sugar and IBUs and shift both of them evenly down, yet still have.
A balance,
a nice balance,
yeah.
and it still tastes like an IPA,
and less filling because it has the carb load is less because you start with a smaller gravity,
and it still wasn't a session beer, so it wasn't shifted so far. Like the starting gravity must have been high enough,
to make
like Jamil is saying, to add body to it, and that's just what I loved about it, and I thought it was just a kind of a twist on what we've been advocating for a couple years here anyway, which is to move away from the strong bitterness, keep all the hop flavor and all of that. But this, I felt it was a very unique flavor profile that he was getting out of it. So, okay, so sulfates are important to draw out not the bitterness, but instead the hop character.
It accentuates the hoppiness.
Okay.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
it's more like a crisper edge to it or something.
Yes, it'll showcase the hops. Even if there's just less hops, it's going to showcase it, and as Tasty said, it's going to be the sharpness.
Okay. And just as by comparison, sodium, on the other hand, adding salts like that to your water would better accent like a sweeter English ale or something like that.
You don't want to mix the two.
Okay.
So you want to, it rounds more sweetness, pushes the malty, pushy,
right,
kind of thing. But they're like bad stepbrothers.
Okay. So this is good. I didn't want to end up with some complicated formula in the end, and this is about as simplified, I think, as we've done, which is a fairly simplified malt bill, a couple of malts, and Jamil's is a great example, I think, where it's mostly 2-row and then some Crystal 15. Water that is high on the sulfate side, hops that are low in cohumulone. And don't think that you have to go so high with the IBUs because you're going to get the perception of it. Of course, you can go to the other techniques we've always talked about, which is late hopping and things like that, too. But I just loved a 50 IBU West Coast IPA. I thought it was nailed, and I think that homebrewers could mess around with this and maybe turn more people onto a hoppy beer than the one that's both sweet and then bitter and hoppy and boozy, it's like too much alcohol, all of those things. This was just a great example of something I think you could share with people and say, it doesn't have to be all the things you think an IPA is. It was a good one.
Yeah, it's that lingering bitterness that always kills me.
Yeah.
It's just great hop aroma, great hop flavor, then my tongue's dead.
Did I miss any of the simple rules that we've gone over?
Sounds about right. And, you got to find a balance on that sulfate. It might be, depending on your water, it might be 50, it might be 100, it might be 150. It's going to depend on the type of hops. I was Googling Society's IPA. The IPA that you're talking about, I think, is the Bachelor IPA, 6.5% ABV. They were doing it with Citra. They'd done it with some other single hops. I guess they're a single hop series. They try it with different hops. So it's going to depend on your type of hop, and then that's going to, and your existing water, and that's going to drive how much sulfate you're going to add. And then, simple malt bill, I think is the way to go. Finish out dry, get it to attenuate really well.
Got it. All right. Jamil, thanks, man.
Sure, my pleasure.
How's the tasting room going? I know you're open now. People can come try Heretic right on site.
He sees all sorts of people there, like Asians, amateurs, right?
Anals, yeah.
MILFs.
He's everybody.
MILFs, yeah, I see them all. We're doing real well. It's good crowd we get in there. Lots of good people. Lots of homebrewers come by, which is really cool. I love that. And Fridays and Saturdays we try and have food trucks out there when we can, and it's a great time. We're really enjoying it.
All right. It sounds awesome. I got to get out there myself and see the tasting room. I haven't been there since the brewery was put in, so.
Wow.
Can you be open on Monday? Please?
For you guys, I can.
Okay.
Normally we're not, but if you let me know, I'll make sure we're open for you.
Okay.
There you go. See?
We could have a BN party down there.
We should have a BN party down there. All right, we'll get to work on that.
All right.
Thanks, Jay-Z.
Anytime, brother.
Cheers, man. Later.
Cheers.
Jay, could you imagine if I told you a few years ago, like, yeah, Jamil is going to open a brewery, and you will go months without setting foot in it?
No. I thought you were going to stop at open a brewery, and I was like, are you kidding? Of course. But no, I never would have thought. And the problem, now that I'm in Martinez, I'm like the rest of the Martians. You never leave. You just get stuck.
It's
in
only
Martinez.
30 minutes away at most.
It isn't far at all. It's right across the bridge.
It's not that far away.
But it's a bridge.
But 30 minutes is a long time when you're pushing a shopping cart.
It's across the bridge and then like another 20 minutes. It's far.
Every time I want to go, it's Monday.
It's not far there. It's far back. That's the problem.
It's farther back.
Yeah. And I just I have a Home Depot and like a grocery store and
in the way,
a liquor store. I mean, I'm saying
all in the way.
No, in like a bicycle ride from my house, I have everything.
Oh, how suburban of you!
And so I don't go anywhere else. That's the problem.
One thing we didn't talk about is how do you get a beer to be 6.5% and lower and 10.04?
I don't know.
So what's your what's your starting gravity? 1060?
No, there's a lot of ways to do it. If you want to finish low, you pitch more yeast. You use sugar,
which Jamil mentioned he does. A sack of dextrose.
You have to not have a lot of maltose left over at the end. That's gonna leave the FG kind of high.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have a lot more simple sugars in there. You want to have the alcohol, but you really want it to finish low.
Sounds like yeast selection itself, not just the amount of the pitch, which is important,
right,
but which yeast is able to gnaw through all those simple sugars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the performance of that yeast too. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a Pliny, but just lower IBUs, like half less IBUs.
I don't know. Does a Pliny finish that low too?
No,
it doesn't, right? It finishes higher,
like 12,
but it has a higher gravity, I think, right?
I don't know.
Either.
But yeah, it's not finishing down. At 10-12 is very different. That's like every beer I've ever brewed. I've never done like a 10-04 is, you're right, it's way down there. So
it's not even an IPA. It's not even an IPA range anymore.
Except that it tastes like it, and that was the point.
That's the point.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Is it going to be light enough? Is it going to be hoppy enough, yet have the sweetness, which is what an IPA has over, say, a pale ale.
And as Jamil said, it's not necessarily the sweetness, but the body that you might perceive as a backbone anyway. So I guess a healthy pitch. I should have asked Jamil what yeast he would recommend. We can ask Society when they come on because I think the strain of yeast is important too. But yeah, clearly they're not starting up at like fucking 1070 or something.
No,
1059.
Okay,
we'll give and a finish of 04. We give you it'd be a 6.43% beer,
which is a great range for an IPA.
Yeah, so 60 would get it for you. Now, if you're in your brewery. And say you do come up with a grain bill that gives you 1060 OG, and that you mash that at say like 147, 148 because you're looking to really make it highly fermentable. You don't want a lot of residual dextrins left over in the beer. You want the body associated with them, but you can get that. That's what I think Jamil was pointing out is that it's the perception of the body that matters, whether it's there or not. Who cares?
Right.
Because I've had beers like he was saying that have finished like a 1018, and they have good body, but not great body, and they don't taste sweet. But I've had beers like finished at 1.5 Plato, 1 Plato, and they got plenty of body. You think why aren't they thin?
It is all the perception, and that was the point of this discussion is that it very much how do we manipulate the perception rather than just manipulating the numbers and the normal thing that we do, which is okay, if you're going to add more IBUs, you better add more gravity. But now you're not just manipulating those two things; you're manipulating the perception.
Right. So I think it's a good practice for homebrewers to try to make beer like this. That is, try to get a beer where you get your ABV from the finishing side of it, because that really helps you, perfect your control of your process. Because it's kind of hard to do that. Most homebrewers struggle with getting their terminal gravity correct.
Yeah,
it just finishes too high for them.
Oh yeah,
almost all the time. Once you get that under control through mash temperature, maybe sugar additions or other fermentability things in terms of pitch size and aeration and so forth.
Okay.
Then you're in control, and then you taste your beer and say, okay, now how would I really want this beer to finish? Now you can bump things up. That is, I'll mash a little bit higher, just because I really do want a 10-10 gravity.
Okay.
But you've mastered control over your process.
That's an excellent
by being able
point.
to go low.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because if I'm just following a recipe, all I'm looking at is the traditional numbers.
Yeah, you don't know
which is what my gravity is supposed to be, what my IBUs are supposed to be, and I'm not even fucking with perception yet. And if I'm missing those numbers, well, then I can't even manipulate the other side yet.
Yeah.
So that's an excellent point. Once I guess I'm always nailing where I want it to be, then I can drop it, I can raise it.
Yeah, you got control of the levers.
And by the way, mash temp, I'm glad you bring it up. That's an excellent point, I think, to start with when we're talking about fermentability. When we're talking about getting it down to 1004, the mash temp's got to be right there too. Combined with, I think the other thing that a lot of homebrewers do, myself included, is throw the kitchen sink into the grain bill, where we're left with more unfermentable, more dextrins that the yeast didn't eat through. So I get a 10-10 target because I think that's the style. Yet I threw a bunch of stuff into that grain bill that's going to leave me at 10-14. Mm-hmm. Not to mention every other mistake I made. But the point is,
it matters.
In this discussion, both brewers that we're using an example of, Heretic and Society, very simple grain bill.
Yeah.
And then dialing in a mash temperature like Tasty's talking about, a proper yeast pitch. You can still always use the Mr. Malty yeast calculator to see what you're... But then dial in a consistent final gravity like Tasty's talking about. Then you can go mess with the other stuff. Well, I hope that you homebrewers go do it, because I think that this was a fine example of a beer that anybody can enjoy, and particularly people who say, I don't like hoppy beers. And then they could have this one and go, well, that's not a hoppy beer. That one's good.
It wasn't hoppy?
No, it was hoppy.
Okay.
But that's the thing. People do a blanket thing where they... Exactly. That's that voice killer. Is the blanket bitter voice.
Right.
And they go, I don't... And then you can share with them a beer that they go, oh, well, I didn't know it could be like that.
It sounded just like Doc, too. Pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, maybe when we get Society back on, we can revisit it and see what their techniques are. Find out exactly what they do with their water. We'll see if Jamil's right. Maybe they do a blend back. Because it does seem, I know Tasty has always mentioned it, that what we do with our water also messes with our perception of these flavors and bringing out the hops and things like that. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got both beer news to do. Also, it's time for another happy hour where we get to find out who fucked up something in their brew process this week.
Yay.
Hang in there. It's The Session, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. New items include the Big Oxygen Kit for economical wort aeration using common welding oxygen tanks, and the Unistat line of external thermostats for easy control of both electric heaters and refrigerators. In addition, they've just mashed their new oatmeal stout malt extract, so you can make those tasty winter oatmeal stouts and porters without meshing. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
This is a public service announcement.
Hey, dude, I I think there's... what's wrong? You don't look so good. There's something wrong with your beer. It's making everyone sick.
Don't let your beer make your loved ones ill. Proper cleaning and sanitation is the key to avoiding puke on your shoes.
But I used an all-in-one.
Cleaning and sanitizing cannot be done in a one-step process. No cleaner can sanitize, and no sanitizer can clean. The amazing chemists at 5 Star Chemicals have your solution. Clean with BBW and sanitize with Star San.
Fantastic!
Your friends and loved ones will thank you. 5 Star products are available at fine homebrew shops near you and online. Put your best beer forward with 5 Star Chemicals, your one stop for the cleanest 2-step solution.
Tonight is the night.
We bring the creature to life, Dr. Blickmanstein?
Yes, J.P. Gore. Everything is perfect for my next fermented creation.
But Doctor, the storm is too far away. We'll never have enough power to isomerize the creature's alpha acids.
Yes, J.P. Gore, we will. For I have in my possession the Tower of Power.
Blickman's new Tower of Power is the evolution of automation. Control hot liquor, sparge, and mash temps like a pro. The Tower of Power is a high-quality gas-fired rim system that works with your current brewing setup. With ultra-precision, the tower can hold your mash to 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. Precision and repeatability. The Tower of Power is the answer to automatic, fast ramp times. See more at BlickmanEngineering.com. Bring your next creation to life with the Tower of Power.
Dr. Blickmanstein, with the Tower of Power, you can probably give me an afternoon at the pub to enjoy a pint.
Don't be silly, J.P. Gore. We have beer to brew.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for any beer style. I want a Cicerone. The Cicerone certification program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Brewers, anyone can resell homebrew equipment and recipe clone kits. Get original at Adventures in Homebrewing. Adventures in Homebrewing has the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipe kits that you'll love. Home of the Serial Killer Grain Mill, 220,000 BTU propane burners, custom stainless steel false bottoms, as well as custom-built brew stands and systems. These are just some of the items Adventures in Homebrewing designs and manufactures in-house. And the brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing keep designing, too. Original extract and all-grain recipe kits that are tried and tested and proven to be of the best quality. Most popular are the Blueberry Tangerine Porter, the Nor'easter Cranberry Fest, and the Peanut Butter Conspiracy Stout. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing's original recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And don't forget to use the coupon code BIG10 when you place your order to save 10%. That's coupon code BIG10, BIGTEN. Visit Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org right now and get original today. Homebrewing.org. Join the adventure.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
888-401-BEER. This is The Session.
all right, welcome back to the program.
Cha-cha-cha.
A few things left to do here.
Which are?
Well, I like our next segment, which is the Sabco Happy Hour, which I really enjoy not being the only one who admits to brewing disasters. Because let's face it, the only reason I'm the punching bag, the face of brewing disasters, is because you pussies are afraid to mention all the things you've screwed up in your past. And so everyone,
that or you truly suck.
and say with other homebrew, I go to the events, the homebrew conference, and you stuck in your carpet porter, and no one ever wants to commiserate with their. Instead of coming up and saying, carpet porter, come up and say, dude, one time I also did this, and
Just one time.
And by the way, it doesn't actually bother me. It's why I love this segment so much, because it forces people to own up, and I think that other people like to hear when we screw stuff up, because it makes us feel less alone in this world.
I would probably say,
oh God,
I screw something up every brew.
Yeah,
not every brew, most brews, but one thing.
Yeah,
unlike you. I don't screw up everything.
Yeah, but getting you to admit that on the air is like, no pun intended, fucking pulling teeth, Doc.
Well, I get it. Wait, because he's an orthopedic surgeon. No, wait.
Right.
But no.
Yes, it is. Because you want to be the perfect home brewer. And I'm like, come on, Doc. You fucked stuff up, man.
No, okay. I mess it up, and then I correct it, and it's still a good brew. You, on the other hand...
just mess it up.
Well, I'll give you that. That's
you
fine.
do place Doc and Tasty on a pedestal as far as brewing goes. You do it yourself.
Part of the stick here.
Yeah, well, and it should be that they're the superior figures. However, if every once in a while they were to come in and instead of saying, "Oh, everything was wonderful on Sunday when I brewed," if they instead would go,
"Well, it is that way."
If they would go, "Oh, dude, so I tried to do this.
It is that way.
I tried to do this new beer and I screwed this thing up. We could learn."
What was the last thing
I screw up things along the way.
Yeah.
And
you don't talk about it?
Well, I do. I said I messed this up, but we corrected it with that, and it still comes out. I'm not going to mess up a whole brew day because of it.
Your mom messes up a brew day.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, no, well, I remember...
What's the word?
What's the
Thunderbird?
No, what's the word?
I just misled
the
you.
Jewish word. Back on that.
Totally
Yeah, no, I do remember Doc saying that one time when he like started to put beer into something that had star sand in it, but that story was sandwiched in between him being in a hot tub with a bunch of chicks and the beer coming out good.
Right? I'm the only one who owns up to every bit of my stupidness.
Well, because you don't have a hot tub.
Yeah,
but you can. I know a guy who's trying to sell one.
I'm the only one who misels everything.
The point being is, you're going to screw up one thing or another on a brew day. Just keep going forward. Don't look back. Make it work.
All right, well, we're about to get to our Sabco Happy Hour where we get to learn about another person's mishaps, and we can all commiserate together. But first, let me let you know, if you need a great place to write and execute your recipes, both on brew day and off, go over to beersmith.com. Check out beersmith.com right now, and you get a free 21-day trial. I saw a beta version of a brand new Beersmith coming out.
Oh.
Well, Brad over there at Beersmith is always at work on that thing. Really spends all his time trying to perfect it and make you the perfect brewing software. And I think he's, if not done it already, pretty damn close. But Brad doesn't. He's still at work all the time. Go over to beersmith.com right now. You get a free 21-day trial. It works on both PC and Mac. I think it even works if you have that shitty Windows 8 that everybody complains about.
Yeah, who has that, though?
Have you ever heard somebody get Windows 8 and go, "Oh my God, it's such a wonderful thing. It's made my life
I couldn't wait till this came out. It's awesome.
It's made my life so much easier." Anyway, it works on that if you made that accident. And you can use it for everything. You can keep inventory, you can share recipes, you can download recipes. There's a whole recipe side of the website over on beersmith.com. He's got podcasts that you can watch. Interesting, a lot of the times I meet fans now, Beersmith is the new thing being watched. It used to be everybody came up and go, "I only listen to you and sometimes Basic Brewing." That was always the comment. Well, now it's been, "I only listen to you and I'm watching a lot of the Beersmith podcasts." People are liking that too. He's done a lot of video interviews with good people. So go check it out, beersmith.com. You don't have to take my word for it. Download it for free. And if you don't like it, you can forget about it. And then you can tune me out every show I don't care.
You'll like it.
You fucking do that half the time anyway.
What?
You'll like it.
Tasty.
There's a lot of texting going on. Don't worry about it. Things
All
are
right.
happening.
She said yes.
I gave you a beer, so
Perfect.
you should drink that too.
Conditions are perfect. All right, it's time for just a little bit of happy hour. I'm going to start it over.
Could you please? Because that was lackluster.
Did I do it? I didn't do it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, good.
I have to fix things in the studio.
What?
It's time for the BN Happy Hour.
Yes, indeed. This week's happy hour is courtesy of Secret Lab, also known as Aaron Perry. Aaron wrote me a short and sweet note, and
now, let's see.
Oh,
Dump this week.
that was my
No, it's my fault, too. Oh,
Yeah, you got misled.
oh boy.
Who's this brought to us by?
Still just
We need to do
misled
this
the
every
show.
week to get it right.
Happy Hour is brought to you today by Sabco. All right, what's up with our happy hour today, Mosky?
Secret Lab used to brew on his second-floor wooden porch. He said it was an old farmhouse, so there are no trees around, and the wind was a big problem. He said he built a triangular wooden windshield far away enough from the flames so that he thought it wouldn't be a problem. He said he started boiling one batch. He went inside to weigh the hops. He came back out, and the deck and his screen door were on fire. I'll stop there. I'll let him tell the rest of the story.
Aaron, welcome to the program. Thanks for being with us, man.
Hey, Ron.
It's going all right. And I'm going to be the first to admit, because none of these fuckers will, Aaron, I have also lit my shit on fire.
Have you really? Have you told the story?
Well, I was even dumber than Aaron. I literally, you know how on the Bayou burner, folks at home, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
There's a little air draft lever, so you can kind of adjust the draft on the Bayou burner, and it adjusts the flame for you. And it was a hand-me-down, so my draft thing was broken. So I used flammable duct tape to
block things out.
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about, where you admit to every possible thing that you could have possibly ever done. Like, you may not have even done it wrong, but you thought you did it wrong, so you're going to tell a story. Like, this is what we mean.
Right.
You knew it was wrong, right?
I did know, but I thought, like Aaron, come on, I'm going to get away. So anyway, it caught fire, and it was a small flame. But Aaron, yours was different. You put up large pieces of wood to block your burner from the wind?
Yeah, I built a triangular windscreen out of old pieces of pallet. And, I built nice brass hinges onto it, built it so that it completely surrounded the burner, regular Cajun cooker type burner.
Well,
can I just point...
At least you have your hinges.
And how long were you gone?
Well, wait, before we even get to that part. Old pallets are the most flammable item on planet Earth.
They're kindling.
Dry wood.
And they have toxic chemicals in them.
Oh, shit. I take them camping all the time.
They were a foot and a half away. I figured, that's far enough.
Of course you
That's
did.
what I would think, yeah.
So, describe your brewing environment. Are you up on a second floor deck?
A second floor wooden porch, yeah.
So you get a lot of wind up there.
Lots of wind.
Are there neighbors also with second floor wooden porches?
No. It was like an old farmhouse. We had the whole top floor, so we had the only second floor wooden porch, and then there was another one below us.
So you did have neighbors below?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who called 911?
Nobody saw it, fortunately.
All right, so you have a wind problem, which I've had also. You got the burner out there. You need to block it from the wind. You got to, you figure that out, and you decide I'll just do a hinged wooden triangle.
I'll build a screen out of kindling.
Right.
Only about 80 Quinn.
Seems legit.
Right? Rice paper would have been good too.
And once again, how far away from the burner was the wood?
It was about a foot and a half.
Okay.
And I had used it a few times and it worked fine, but this was a real windy day.
Okay, so that was my next question: was if this was your inaugural launch of the barrier, but it wasn't.
No.
Okay.
No, it worked fine a few times.
So you'd used it before; it's working effectively. This particular brew day, it's windy, and what do? You leave the brew stand?
Yep, I went in to weigh out the hops. I was gone maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Okay, 8, 10.
Couple, 2, 3.
Yeah, a couple. I mean, what? Like you weigh the hops and then you go have
to the show,
and then you go have a wank too, or like did you just
No, I was talking to my buddy about brewing things, and
okay, so it was 7 to 8.
I better go check, make sure I'm not having a boil over.
And you go back to check, and what do you find?
And I find the windscreen and the deck all engulfed in flames, probably about as high as my, I got a converted keg. They were about as high as the keg on top of the burner.
Oh, no.
Oh, my.
And are you freaking out?
No, I walked back in, got a couple pitchers of water, and doused it out.
Okay. Well, it couldn't have been that big.
I did turn off the propane first.
Oh, that's good. That's probably a good idea, because the next thing you know, it gets to that propane hose, melts that.
Oh, it melted the propane hose to shit.
Oh, it did?
Ooh. Yeah, it was like blowing flame out of the propane hose.
Holy crap.
See,
That's insane.
I could have done this, too. I easily could have done
Well, I already see this happening in your backyard.
Yeah.
With Matt Brindleson watching.
Right.
Well, I mean, you doused it out with water, but then you must have had like a charred deck, right?
Yeah, there was a big black triangle burned into the deck.
Are you a renter or an owner?
We were a renter at that time. This was in '98, actually.
Okay,
so it's been a while.
Oh, so if you went back, you'd probably see that black triangle.
Yeah, what happened to the deck?
Well,
you painted it
first. I ran out to Home Depot, got another regulator and a piece of hose.
Finished your batch.
Finished the batch.
What a man! What a man!
We wanted to hear it. Yeah.
It was my first decoction.
Okay.
So
oh yeah, you got to finish that.
I wasn't wasting that.
Cock the hell out
well,
of
and you added some extra fucking char to that decoction too.
Yeah, should have done a pumpkin beer.
Okay.
So after that got done, we went back to Home Depot, got some deck boards. And then me and my stepdad cut the deck boards out that were burned and replaced them. And I told my landlord that some of the deck boards were kind of shoddy and rotten, and they were actually. So we replaced them because we were concerned about safety, and he actually wound up giving us money off the rent.
Wow,
safety third.
You made money on the deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And you still saved the batch.
And I saved the batch. It turned out pretty awesome. A little too bitter because I had to reboil it a little.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why my stove isn't made of wood. It'll catch fire.
Because it'll catch fire. Yeah. See, I didn't make money on my carpet porter. I should have told the landlord it was raw sewage or something.
You know
was
what?
Black.
It was leakage. It's bad because that carpet was stinky. And it's probably,
I mean, never mind that it was an entirely different part of the house than the bathroom or the sewage
Nate
line.
wouldn't have given you money off the rent.
That's true. Nate was pretty cheap. Our landlord was pretty cheap. Well, I like the outcome of this. You made a little cash on the deal, and you finished your beer.
Yep.
How'd it come out?
It came out pretty awesome. It was just a little too bitter because I had to. It was like partway through the boil. I had to bring it back to a boil and extracted a little too many IBUs.
Yeah, that sulfate level was up because of the flames.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point that you make. You had to leave and go to Home Depot just to get the regulator and all that. So by the time you come back, it had been sitting much longer than you had planned with the hops in it.
Yep, and it was still hot, so it was sitting there extracting IBUs the whole time.
Got it.
Well, you don't still live there, do you?
No.
Do you chuckle every time you drive by?
Yeah, I do. I always look up at that porch.
Right.
What did you do after that? I mean, I'm sure you did other batches at that same house, right? So what did you do for the wind after that?
Oh, yeah.
After that, I got a piece of metal.
Oh,
weird.
And I bent
Good
that
choice.
around it.
See, you're
That
like
worked out
me.
pretty good.
In
But it was
hindsight,
rusty
you're like,
and I cut myself.
Right, yeah.
And I put a piece of that cement board underneath the burner, too.
Oh, yeah. See,
yeah.
in hindsight, you're like, oh, that was such a simpler solution. This is what happens to me. I go, well, it's brew day, and I've got these things around, and it'll work for now. And then it works, and so the next time you're like, oh, see, like the duct tape thing I had done, it had worked for several brews. You're like, oh, I'll just do it again.
People need to think ahead.
The problem is being rewarded for being lazy. That's the problem, right, Aaron? Like, it worked for you.
You get away with it so many times.
Yeah.
Eventually, it bites you in the ass.
Meanwhile, there's a piece of cake to go buy a piece of sheet metal and wrap it around the backside, and you're done.
Wrap it around.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for sharing your happy hour brew mistake with us. I appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. We all make them.
That's right. We all do. Cheers. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right, that's Aaron, and I really do appreciate him chiming in with a brew disaster. You can send your happy hour brew disaster stories over to Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com, and we'll feature you on the program.
Yes, indeed, and this week's happy hour was brought to you, of course, by Sabco and Brew Magic. Quite simply, the best system in the world for brewing craft beer. Find the knowledge to master your craft at brewmagic.com.
Sabco.
I love the way he made money off of that.
Sabco. Yeah. That's genius.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's like, I'm just going to fix it really quick and then tell the landlord.
And blame the landlord on shoddy materials.
Be like, look, my kid almost fell through your deck. It really could have been gnarly. Like, there could have been a whole thing. But instead I fixed it, and it only cost $400.
And you know what? I'm going to give you this IPA, too. Just, you know.
I love it. All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do the beer news, and we are out of here. It's 888-401-BEER if you want to call in. Don't forget, if you're drunk, I'll talk to you. There's just no official drunk of the week.
Right.
888-401-BEER. We'll be back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and Bruin brother Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
Hey, dude, you know what beer this is?
Oh, no, all the labels are falling off.
Yeah, or the ink is run.
Well, if it's the pale ale, you're good, but stay away from the quote-unquote Belgian.
Oh, man, this guy needs to get some grog tags.
Grog tags are reusable, write-on, wipe-off, commercial-grade bottle labels for your brew. The guys at Grog Tag are homebrewers. They wanted great-looking, sturdy labels for your bottles, buckets, carboys, kegs, and growlers. They also wanted a label that not only looks good, but can be easily removed and reapplied during bottling without that nasty glue residue being left behind. No residue, water resistant, and ice chest approved. Grog tags stay on in water or an ice chest, and they stay legible. Visit grogtag.com to customize your label or coaster from dozens of different templates for free and see how awesome your bottles can look.
It's that pseudo Belgian.
Yeah, we're getting him some grog tags, dude.
Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good. grogtag.com. Are you a member of the American Homebrewers Association? Well, you should be. Members of the AHA can focus on brewing beer, and the AHA takes care of the rest. The American Homebrewers Association advocates on behalf of homebrewers like you to legalize the hobby in all 50 states and make sure that beer laws make sense. Plus, there are many great benefits that come with your AHA membership, like AHA member deals that give you awesome deals at bars, restaurants, breweries, and more. Zymergy Magazine and
Zymergy for tons of articles, how-tos, easy-to-follow recipes, and news about the hobby you love, and access to the members-only content on homebrewersassociation.org. But the AHA can't do it without your support. Join today so the American Homebrewers Association can keep fighting for your homebrewing rights. Visit homebrewersassociation.org or join now from the homepage of the Brewing Network website. Relax. Don't worry. It's the American Homebrewers Association.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls. Marquis, stop. Look.
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome! The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping?
Well, yeah, but...
the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
What does craft beer mean to you? Is it a delicious way to support your town's local brewer? Or perhaps it's the perfect beverage to pair with those delicious meals at your favorite restaurant and at home. Regardless of whether you're thinking of pints or pairings, pilsners or porters, craftbeer.com is the site where craft beer lovers come together to learn and share. Craftbeer.com is brought to you by the Brewers Association and celebrates the best of American craft beer and its brewers. Craftbeer.com is the best place to find craft beer events, recipes, great feature stories, the most up-to-date brewery listings, and resources for your next beer tasting or dinner, like style guidelines, pairing mats, and charts. Get the inside scoop on new beer releases and special events from today's craft beer insiders, and chime in to share your own knowledge, perfect pairings, road trips, recipes, and more. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
Yeah. I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
You're listening to The
Session.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
Yeah, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Jip, you brought us some beer.
I did, yeah.
I think he brought us...
fixing my mic.
Eagle Rock.
Yeah, a nice bottle of Solidarity from my good, close personal friends at Eagle Rock Brewing in Los Angeles, California.
I like this beer.
Is it a Schwartz beer?
It's a black mild. It's like an English mild.
Just low gravity.
3.8, 3.9, something like that. Nice and roasty. A lot of mouthfeel, but...
Low IQ.
Finish is pretty good. I enjoy it. It's my favorite beer at the moment. My top 5 for sure.
It's a fantastic beer.
Yeah, I really like it.
I'm sorry, Jay, you like it? This is normally not your cup of tea, right? The heavy on the roast, low hop character.
Except that because it's a mild and is also low on the sweetness, it just has a lot of mouthfeel and not sweetness. It works. It's great.
It has a lot of roast, but I wouldn't call it heavy on roast.
No, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Sierra Nevada Tumbler.
A little bit, but again,
You're
and
insane.
I'm a big fan of the tumbler too, but way less sweet than that.
Less sweet.
It also has a little peppery spiciness to it that's really nice. Very mild, in my opinion.
It's black mild.
But I mean, the spice is mild, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's they're doing some good things down there.
All right, Eagle Rock, California.
Eagle Rock Brewing in Los Angeles, California.
I think that's a little zone called Eagle Rock.
Yeah, but they're not in there.
Oh, they're not?
Mm-mm.
I was going to say, I think our friend Big Joe, who's played some of our parties before, just moved to Eagle Rock. But that's not where Eagle Rock Brewing is?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
How confusing.
I think it's pretty close, but it's right by the Glendale, right off the 2 of the Glendale freeway there.
Oh, I thought you just meant the Glendale.
The Glendale.
It's right near the Glendale.
Well, I'm talking like SoCal guy. Well, you take the Glendale over to the PCH and you're fine.
Don't misel me. I'm getting misled as we speak.
You're getting misled.
I was clear, but now I'm becoming more misled as we speak.
Right. That's all right. As we misel.
All right, before we get to the beer news from the Glendale, let's go to the phones, where we have Two in the Stew is on the line. He says he has an intelligent question, which remains to be seen at this point in the program. Two in the Stew! What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
We're doing well. Where are you calling from? Burbank, California. Back down in the SoCal.
He'll know where Eagle Rock is.
All right. What's your question?
Well, I have a couple questions if you guys don't mind, because I'm feeling a little lazy and I'm studying for a test.
Actually, mind. I want one.
Studying for a test.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Go for it.
All right. I'm actually going to try my hand at making a cider, which I haven't done yet. And I want to bottle condition it, and I can't figure out how to get it to have a little bit of apple character and not get too dry. And I'm going to use Cabernet Sauvignon wine yeast. And so I was wondering if I add maltodextrin, if that'll help bring out the apple flavor.
Well, you're not sitting in a room full of cider makers, so I'm going to throw that caveat out there. But JP did work in a homebrew shop for a long time, and I would hope have to answer some cider questions.
No, I never did because I don't know shit about cider. But I'm making one currently, and what I do know is you're going to have to back sweeten it. Actually, I just cold crashed my cider, and on the cider show, Warren brought in some cider that wasn't back sweetened and wasn't messed with in any way, any sort of acid adjustments or whatever, and that's what I have in my conical right now, and it's terrible. It tastes like a white wine. So if you want it to actually taste like a cider, you're going to have to back sweeten it. But in order to do that, you should kill off all the yeast first, and I'd probably sterile filter or something like that. I know Drew was talking about it on the last show, but I can't remember exactly
what's the other stuff?
Pectate or something.
No, you add something to it. It stops the yeast from fermenting.
Yeah, but
and then you could back sweeten without it fermenting that down too.
You can do like sulfites and stuff and just nuke everything, but like Drew was saying, some people are allergic to that kind of stuff, or so they think. But
I've heard that. So what would adding maltodextrin do to it? I haven't been able to like get a super firm answer about that.
It's an unfermentable sugar, basically, and it's going to give you. I
would think mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel, yeah. It's kind of. It'll get rid of the thinness, but it might not give you. It might be like a thick white wine.
Well, it's going to be, if what I understand it, because you're not going to get any more apple character without adding apple juice to it. Right. So, and potassium sorbate, thanks to Zeke in the form, he was saying that's what you're supposed to add back to kill everything. But you add apple juice back to get that apple quality, because seriously, once you ferment it, it doesn't really taste like apples at all. It's kind of terrible. So just adding maltodextrin will probably bump up the body a little bit, the mouthfeel, and a little sweetness level, since it is unfermentable. But I don't. It's not going to give you any sort of appleness.
No, it won't.
So back sweeten for the apple character, I think, is the short answer.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of fucked there, huh?
No, you just
is what I'm gathering. If I want to bottle condition it and have apple cider,
I don't know. My apologies. I don't know.
No, it's fine.
You should pick up.
I listened
Drew's
to the
book.
last show too, but I still wasn't sure. I was looking for a simple way to do it.
Well, we kind of glossed over that, like the specifics of it. But pick up Drew's book; it's in there for sure. But you're going to have to back sweeten no matter what.
And if you're going to bottle condition, and because you want it carbonated, basically. Depends on how much back sweetener you put in it, because it's only going to ferment down so far. So if you put a lot in there, it's still it'll only ferment down so far and quit, and you're going to get the apple back into it and still have the carbonation.
But how to figure out how much that is
exactly how to figure out how much it is without having bottle bombs.
Why do you want to bottle condition?
I got both my kegs full right now of Christmas beer, so. And I just wanted to make some more shit because it sounded like fun.
You know, I'd wait it out. Even though we don't have the right answer for you, after talking to Drew last week and listening to Beardy talk about the back sweetening, I don't think that's a shortcut you want to take anyway.
Nope.
I think
you don't
even
think
when
underpitching would be a good thing to do either to try to get a stuck fermentation? Or that's a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
just
know.
bringing up a host of other things,
I mean,
right?
I think I think you're going to have to back sweeten. Well, you're going to have to back sweeten for sure, but I think you're going to have to kill everything in there first. Probably sterile filtering would be the best, and then back sweeten. But then you have to add sugar in order for it to carbonate, because you don't want to lose that level of sweetness. Right?
You should just go on that free site that the English dude goes on.
Free Psycho.
You should just go to Free Psycho and get and get another keg. That's what you do.
Free Psycho.
Free Psycho.
Keg.
I mean, you're going to have to pay enormous shipping from England, but,
it's still free.
I think that all of these corners you're trying to cut for the sake of bottle conditioning...
I don't think he's cutting any corners.
Well,
is he?
If you've already made it, they just go with it.
What does that
I
even
haven't made
mean?
it yet.
Well, it might not be exactly what he wants.
Tomorrow,
but
he hasn't even made it yet.
Can I make do they make apple extract, like an apple flavor you can add on the cold side, like in the bottles?
I don't think it'd be something that you would want.
It wouldn't be that much apple character?
It can't be good.
See if you can find a six-pack of Spot and Oktoberfest still on the shelf. It tastes like apples.
Yeah. You could just...
All right.
Yeah.
My other question is where am I going to be able to get Winter Brews Festival tickets?
There's going to be a website that
Free Cycle.
You can get them on Free Cycle. If there's none on Free Cycle, you can go. We're going to put up a website soon. Don't worry. There will be plenty of tickets available. We'll probably give away a couple pairs here on the show, and then we'll give you a website soon to buy.
Make sure you bring some of your cider.
It won't sell out because we are allowed to use the entire goddamn park. So you'll be able to get tickets. Don't worry.
Right on. And then the last one is, where do I find the place to send beer for Dr. Homebrew? Because I thought that might be fun. My Christmas beers turned out pretty good. So
you email me at jp@thebrewingnetwork.com.
Okay.
And if you have any extra bottles, send them to Jay. He likes spiced beer.
Do not send to JP.
They're not really spiced. They're not. I didn't make spiced beer.
Oh, that's good.
I made a Belgian kind of dark strong and a coffee cocoa nib stout.
The JP at thebrewingnetwork.com. That's where you get that.
Okay.
All right, two in the stew.
Right on. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks, brother. All right. Should we go to Theo Brew? He's on the line, apparently, according to Bevo, from Florida.
Oh. It's rare form.
She's rude. She's miseling you right now.
I'm pretty sure what happens in Florida is you get miseled.
Oi.
Bevo's terrible.
I can't see.
Or spell.
Or type.
I thought you got LASIK.
Or answer phones.
I did.
And? It's all good?
Not really.
Oh, still a little blurry.
Oh, that's right. You're post LASIK right now.
Yeah.
When did you get it?
Wednesday?
Are you supposed to be, not laying around with patches over your eyes right now? I watched Minority Report, and when they changed his eyeballs, it was bad.
Okay, first of all, you're an idiot.
Oh.
Is that not what happened?
No. Well, it kind of felt like it.
Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it?
It hurt really bad.
Really? Like during the process?
No, during the process, my eyes were numb, but afterwards it was really painful.
Oh, did they give you meds for that?
I took a Valium and went to sleep.
Oh. You don't get anything good?
Notice how they didn't give them to her.
So I guess if I were to ask if you have anything left, the answer is also no.
I have one Valium left, and I've already promised it to someone.
Is Valium?
I'm not going to say anything other than he's a Jew.
Is Valium all that fun?
Yeah,
it is.
It's not bad.
It's a dirty drug.
I don't know. It made me sick, so I didn't feel good.
Anyway,
yeah.
It hurt, huh?
So it was painful, yeah. And then I went home and slept for a long time because of said Valium.
But you're looking at me with big bright eyes right now, and it feels like that should hurt.
I can't see you.
You can't see shit.
Wow, you want to give a plug for your hack doctor?
No.
When is it supposed to?
When did you get back from Mexico?
No, I'm an interesting case because I have old eyes, basically. I can't see up close. That was my problem.
Okay.
So right now I can see up close fantastic.
Oh.
Like, I can look at my phone, I can see everything. My accommodative system, so my brain basically is in freak out mode. So it's not accommodating for me to see distance right now, so it's going to take a while for that to sort of catch up with what's happened.
But it will catch up?
That shit hurt.
Because otherwise you're like, I just traded in nearsighted for farsighted.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's an interesting, though. It's a brain issue, not an eye issue.
It's a brain issue, yeah. So the day after the surgery, I went out for JP's birthday, and I rediscovered my love for getting drunk in public.
Oh, Bevo got hammered.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. She tied one off. That was a lot of fun.
I couldn't drive, so Terrence drove, and I was like, yeah.
Wow. So you got all crunk.
I had like 8 shots of sake.
No, it wasn't even sake.
Theo, just hang on a second.
The guy who runs the sushi joint we were at loves JP. He's a regular, and so he kept bringing over bottles of this stuff. It wasn't sake.
Soju.
It was like, it kind of tasted like vodka, but it was only, like, what was it, like 20%? And
19%.
Places make Bloody Marys with that if they don't have a liquor
yes,
license.
exactly.
They're terrible.
That's what it was. Yeah, Bevo took one sip and retched. She's like, this is horrendous. And the next thing I know, she's on her 5th shot.
So what was drunk Bevo like?
I don't know. I was sitting too far away from her, but we all had to watch her child.
To watch my kid.
Like we were.
Sam was at home with the flu, and I was like,
"Oh, it takes a village."
It does. And
sometimes
sent
that village
out
is a sushi
texts.
restaurant. Yeah. To everybody.
Yes.
Thank you for listen. How many times have you? Actually, never. You don't monitor us. You let us just be drunk in public. I was going to say, how many times have you helped? And then I thought, never.
I remember one time.
I have found Sam in bushes on public avenues.
True. I remember one time you got drunk and you and Sam decided to... What is it when you get out of the car and you run around and you change...
Chinese fire drill.
Yeah, you did that at a stoplight, but the light turned green and it drove away.
She doesn't help anybody. You're an asshole.
I still giggle about that. It was really funny.
I'm sure it was. All right, let's go to Theo Brew. He's on the line from Florida. Hi, Theo.
Rude.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I just want to say I actually recently converted to Judaism.
What?
No, you didn't.
You did not.
I wanted the Valium.
He just wants the Valium.
I thought he met some really good-looking attorney that insisted upon it.
Right. You're still in theology school, aren't you? Seminary, whatever?
No, I graduated from that like 3 years ago.
Oh,
so now he knows.
So you're officially a priest now.
Or is it still faith?
No. I'm a monorail driver now.
Monorail. Yeah.
Are you telling me you can't get a job as a god dude?
Hey, he works at Disney World. What better job is there?
No, I can get a job as a god dude. I just decided I didn't want a job as a god dude.
Why not? You went through all that school for it.
Well, Terrence decided he wanted to be a brewer and not a god dude.
Well, now he's counting inventory, so get out of his way.
Terrence is different. He has a giant penis. He can do whatever he wants.
Well, you don't know me.
Obviously.
Good answer.
Great answer.
No, seriously, why did you decide not to be a god dude?
You want? Well, I'm a little drunk, so I'll tell you the real answer.
But make it short.
Having your paycheck tied to the church means you can't say or do certain things.
Right.
I wanted to say and do certain things.
Okay, so you're still part of the community. You're just not a leader.
No, I'm still a leader. I'm just
he's not a conformer.
He's not being paid to be a leader. All right.
Yeah,
They're a leader.
Me, not the church.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. All right, Theo. Well, you know what? I commend you on your decision-making abilities.
Yeah, I'm a little drunk. I'm hanging out, and so I thought I'd call and say hi.
There's also that.
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to get drunk, and they don't like that on Sundays.
Or when you're driving the monorail.
Actually, that's true. There's more support for drinking in the church than on the monorail.
Yeah.
They don't like that.
And rightly so. Are you driving the Disney monorail?
Yeah, I'm training for it right now.
Wow.
I can tell.
Is that like JP, is that like your dream job?
Yeah.
No, monorail? No, I don't want to work in the monorail. I want to be like an Imagineer or some shit like that, dude.
What does an Imagineer do?
Where they like basically dress the set and say this is how this certain thing should look, or whatever. Or
Why don't you do that? I mean, not that I'm encouraging you to leave.
To leave or anything like that.
But
yeah.
why don't you do that?
Because it actually takes skills.
Follow your dream.
You have to have a degree to be an Imagineer.
That's not true.
What if you?
No, you have to have an imagination.
What if you go acquire those skills?
I don't know. I would like art, like drawing and stuff, and I can't even draw.
Probably you have to go to God college for that.
Not to be an Imagineer. That's to be a Jesus ear.
But it's imagination, or at least faith.
Leave him alone, Doc.
Did you guys meet that home brewer at the national conference in Philadelphia that did that kind of engineering kind of stuff for Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah.
What did he say?
Did you meet him?
What?
Did you meet this guy?
Theo?
No.
This engineer.
What are you tasting out? Tuning everybody out?
Who works at Disney.
That was his job.
His job was, he had like a corporate position. He was like all over the other ones. But what did he say he did? He did something on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
he invented some sort of thing that makes it do something.
It was about making that whole scene happen.
Who was this? Some dude?
It was the home brewer. Was at the conference. I thought I said you need to talk to JP. He'd love to talk to you, but he never got around.
Must have missed you.
You probably couldn't find him.
Probably not.
But he's not out of
Philly.
Yeah, I think he's out of Orlando though.
So he's in the other Disney.
He's in World.
He's in World.
Yeah, in fact, he's been to Paris. Yeah, he's been to him. He's like over this engineering thing.
Oh. Yeah. Well, if you're out there, holla at
JP at the Brewing Network.
JP at the Brewing Network.com.
It sounds like you're reaching out to your soulmate. If you're out there anywhere, I will be at 649 Main Street until midnight tonight.
I'll be the guy in the Disney shirt.
Send me a sign.
And every night until January 1st.
And then after.
All right, Theo. Anything? JP, post in missed connections right now. Dear Disney engineer at NHC Philly.
Guy I missed.
This is JP.
Hey, guy I missed out on.
Apparently, we missed our connection.
You had a job at the place I want to get a job at. Me, have no qualifications and am a terrible person and human being. Let's meet up.
However, us together, magic. Please call 555
Magic.
JP will do anything
for magic.
All right, Theo. Anything else,
JP,
my friend?
I'll show you the magic.
What?
I'll show JP the magic.
Have you? I guess you're still in training, so JP, you haven't seen Theo working the monorail yet.
No. Well, he's in Orlando. Who goes to Orlando?
Oh, that's right. He's. I confused Florida
with Florida
with Anaheim.
Oh, yeah, you did.
You can't do that.
All right.
Rude.
World is better. I just want to say.
You're a piece of
Are you going to let JP in for free once you're working there full time?
No, I'll let him in for free when he comes. I told all the Ears Up staff if they want to come down, I'll get them in for free.
Who the fuck is the Ears Up staff?
Now worlds are colliding, and they shouldn't be colliding.
I don't know what this nonsense is.
Somebody knows when we don't.
Get him for free.
Thank you, Theo. You're a nice person.
All right, thanks, Theo. There
Keep
you go.
the faith,
Theo Brew. Riley from I think she has it spelled as
North Carolina.
yeah.
Maybe it's really Ronnie, but she just doesn't.
Raleigh.
I was trying to think of a way to find.
I hate you.
Riley from North Carolina has got a question about kegging on nitrogen. Riley, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. What's your question?
Awesome. Let me turn down my computer here so I don't get feedback. All right, how's it going, man?
It's going well. What's your question?
I finally got sick of bottling, man. So got some kegs, and I decided to keg. And, instead of just taking the normal route and kegging on CO2, I love stouts and porters, and I want to put it on nitro. So I've got CO2. I also have some beer gas. I didn't know the best way to do it, if I need to carbonate it first and then switch it over to the beer gas, or just put it right in the beer gas. if I need to prime the keg with sugar like I do bottles. What's the best way, and what do you guys recommend?
Usually what I do is you want to think of it as a stout. It's going to be at a low carbonation level, about 2 volumes. So I usually give it a head start. I will carbonate it low pressure, about 2 volumes up, and then put it on the beer gas. And the beer gas is going to get you 25%, 75%. So you really push the beer gas, which is mostly nitrogen, up to about 40, 45 pounds. Okay. It's still only going to be 25% of that's only going to be your CO2. So it's going to be at a low carbonation level. But I always give it that first punch and get it to a low carbonation level, and then put it on the beer gas. Let it stay cold, and then you have to have a stout faucet, though, with the restrictor plate in it.
I've got some of those.
Okay,
Some of those, yeah.
So I just started out with low carbonation. If you're going to do like a mild or something, or Irish stout, real low carbonation.
It's actually it's a Russian Imperial that we aged in some oak too.
That ought to be interesting.
Don't nitro that. That's a terrible idea.
I wouldn't nitro that one, though.
Why not?
Okay.
You really want it to be like crisp and sparkly, because it's going to be a little thick, and it's going to be a little alcohol-y and a little sweet, and you really want to have some
that carbonic acid.
That carbonic acid to actually counteract that one.
Is that because it's a Russian Imperial, or because of the barrel?
No, because the Russian Imperial and the barrel, and it's got a lot. It's going to have everything to it. You really want to pull away from the cloying sweetness that it's going to be with the carbonic acid and kind of the prickliness of the CO2 in there. But if you're going to just do a regular stout, prime it up first, low carbonation level, up to about maybe 2 volumes with straight CO2, then put it on the beer gas at that point. But with the Russian Imperial Stout no, don't do that.
Just keep it on CO2.
Oh yeah, and try to crank it up a little bit so it's a little more spritzy, especially if it's heavy and kind of sweet. You can balance it in between 2.6, 2.5, 2.7 ish.
Okay,
you'll see where it ends up. But if you do it on the Guinness faucet, you're probably gonna put it on pancakes at that point.
What should he brew next to go ahead and put something on nitro?
An Irish stout would be good on that one. I'm gonna put my English brown on that.
Okay.
Something that's not really overly sweet. Mild would be good. Kind of cask condition-ish kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've had a good mild on nitro.
Yeah.
Some porters would be good too.
You could do a porter on it. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And do you guys prime with sugar when you're kegging? Or
No.
And let that go to work?
No,
okay.
Not at all. You shouldn't need to if you're going to be counter pressuring.
Awesome.
One or the other.
Guys, I've been listening for a while, and I just switched over to kegging. So.
Yeah. You don't need to be priming anymore unless you're going to be doing something Belgian like, or something you really want to have it bottle conditioned. Once you're in the keg, you can do everything.
Forced carbonated. And by the way, congratulations on the best change in your brewing you've ever made.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, what about if I decide to fill some growlers or bottles from a keg? Do I need to prime then?
Nope.
Because it's already going to be carbonated in the keg. So as long as you're not, planning on making those growlers sit around in your closet for 2 months, if you're just going to bring them somewhere, then no, it's already carbonated.
More than a day.
Yeah. If you're real anal about it, you can purge it with some CO2 and then fill it right from the tap.
But you don't have to. Don't add any sugar to that. Don't prime.
Yeah, kegging eliminates the need for priming altogether, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're going to just fill a growler to take to your buddy's house or something, at most put a tube on the tap so it fills from the bottom up.
Yeah, so it goes all the way to the bottom of your growler. It's the old tasty method is what we like to call it.
The janky tasty method.
Tube from the spout all the way to the bottom of your growler, fill from there, cap on foam, you're good to go.
Yep.
Excellent.
All right, brother.
I appreciate it, guys. Like I said, I've been listening for a while, and I just joined the BN and make my monthly contribution. So
thank you so much for the
Rock
support
on.
and for listening.
All
Cheers.
right.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, there you go. That's Riley from North Carolina.
Are you sure he's not calling from Raleigh, North Carolina?
Could be.
You didn't tell him where to get some extra kegs.
He didn't correct me. So
did you tell him where to get some extra kegs?
Oh,
shooting me daggers.
Was it Free Cycle?
Free Cycle.
Free Cycle.
Oi, Free Cycle.
I thought Free Cycle was a place in Portland. You can
Welcome
park.
to Free Cycle. It's all organic lube.
It's a parking lot for bikes in Portland. You can park everything for free.
Well, why not? I ride a bike. I commute. I should have free reign of the roads, just like a car driver should.
Welcome to Free Cycle.
Free Cycle here. Free Cycle. Get your Free Cycle.
All right, let's do a little bit of beer news. Beer news brought to you today by Williams Brewing. Go to williamsbrewing.com and check it out. What do we have?
All right, I don't know what to do without my bed. I feel a little weird. But let's start it off with a story about a Georgia man. This happened last week. He made a heroic escape when his home caught fire, and he saved his family, but he saved something a little more important, arguably, his stash of Bud Light. The guy's name was Walter Serpett. He was watching TV with 5 adults and 2 children. When the living room began to fill with smoke, he helped the family make a safe escape from the house, which caught fire due to a faulty water heater. But as soon as Serpett made it out safely, he about-faced, and he went right back into the house to retrieve, it was a 6-pack of all things, a 6-pack of Bud Light.
Tall boys, I hope.
This story can't be true.
It is true.
It cannot be
Pop
true.
me up, and we'll hear from the man himself.
All right.
I told them to get the kids out and everything. And me, myself, being an alcoholic, I was trying to get my beer out. You feel me? I went back in the house like a dummy trying to get my beer out, and the door shut on because the backdraft was about to kill me, you know what I'm saying? So, that's what it was.
So he's Canadian.
yeah, that's it.
Was that the accent?
That was French, wasn't it? Yeah, that was French.
You feel me?
Being an alcoholic, I had to go back and get my 6-pack.
You feel it?
Yeah, but the backdraft, it knocked me back.
All right, come on. Here's... Either the fire wasn't all that big. By the way, 5 adults and 2 children watching television. The fire was either a tiny little fire, like it was a candle that they forgot that they lit. Or,
no, the crack
why
pipe
would you
hit
go
the
back
carpet
in
and
for
lit it on fire?
I mean, it couldn't have been that bad. The 6-pack, really? Of Bud Light?
Oh, wait.
Play it again. Me being an alcoholic, I had to go back.
I told them to get the kids out and everything. And me, myself, being an alcoholic, I was trying to get my beer out.
So, Bevo, I feel like he's like me, where he's saying everything wrong with him when he doesn't actually have to. You know, like he didn't have to say, oh, and also I'm an alcoholic, so I went back in for my beer. He could have just stopped at, I got all the kids out.
Of his basement.
Is this what you're saying, Bevo? Is that I should stop at, like, I made a mistake brewing? Like, I can just leave it at that? I don't have to say every stupid thing?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is a good example. Me being an alcoholic, I had to go back.
Alcoholic. A-W.
That Canadian accent.
Yeah, if you hadn't
crazy.
mentioned that, we'd be saying, well, why did he go back in for Bud Light? I mean, really, it's not...
I know, like, that's the other part.
Yeah.
That would have been my original question, right, Tasty?
Yeah.
Like, all right. In fact...
Because he's all out of the food stamp.
In fact, there are plenty of 6-packs of craft beer that I enjoy and buy regularly that I'm not going back into a burning house to
Would
get.
you have dived back in for your Cantillon?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
I know where mine's at all times.
I would go back in for my Cantillon. There's a few 6-packs of beer I might not go back into. Bud Light certainly being one of them.
At least he's watching his caloric intake.
That he is. Yeah. Him and the 5 adults and 2 children watching. What are they watching?
And why were there only two kids?
It's a lot of adults.
Well, good on Mr. Serpett. He and his beloved Bud Light made it out safely.
Wonderful.
And on to Scotland, where Brewmeister has outdone itself. It has broken its own record for world's strongest beer, which was called Armageddon, the previous one, clocking in at 65%. The title now belongs to their snake venom. I mentioned it on the show this last week or a couple weeks ago. It is 67.5%, this new one. The brewery created snake venom, they say, after fans deemed Armageddon, quote, too weak. when it debuted in 2012. Snake venom is made with smoked peat malt and Brett.
Oh, that sounds just... First of all, Fuck that.
Is that a messed up combination?
Yeah, it is.
That's disgusting. And second of all, I can't even keep track of who has the record of strongest beer anymore.
Who gives a shit?
And I don't think anybody else is keeping track either.
No.
Because
Brewmeister
every
is.
news story that comes out says, we've now made the strongest beer in the world. And who's the one saying this is the
The
strongest beer?
manufacturer.
I think it's ridiculous. But it's what, 65%?
67 and a half.
That's Scotch.
Now they can have their own TV show.
At what point does it
That's how those
stop?
other Scottish idiots did it. They're just following.
So build
trying to
a
get
strong
some-
beer, get a TV show.
Get some press.
JP, we've been doing it wrong.
We have been doing it wrong. I thought if you put together a halfway decent TV show, you'll get a TV show.
No, you're going at this all wrong.
Make terrible beer, have shitty accents, and you can get on TV.
There you got it.
Go on,
Exactly
be
the model.
psycho.
At what point does it stop being beer and just start being booze?
Yeah.
Well, and that is
Or
actu-
moonshine.
Believe it or not,
sake.
Bevo has asked the real question. I mean, that is sort of the real question. Because,
And how do I get some?
and by the way, I'm going out to sushi again tomorrow night. How do I?
Just get vodka. I'm sure it'd be better.
I really, though, am disturbed about the process of everybody saying they're the this in the world. They're the biggest this in the world.
Self-proclamation.
Because it does seem like I don't recognize the name of this place. It seems like the last person that said this was Brewdogs to me. That I missed the news story that
Right.
Brewmeister had done it, or it's a self-proclamation.
It's like saying something's like, we're the best at XYZ. Or,
Yeah.
I'm the greatest.
It's like when you
XYZ.
drive down Las Vegas Boulevard, it always says best comedy show between 7 and 7:05 p.m.
Right.
And
It's like, how do you know that?
And it was noted in some magazine somewhere in Las Vegas. And the next one is best crab buffet.
It doesn't even have to be noted.
That's not a real buffet. Between 4 and 7 p.m.
Yeah, you can just say the best because no one's going to challenge you.
I always notice the signs that say hottest girls.
Between 6 and 7 p.m.
They lie to me.
It's a whole thing.
Well, the beer, of course, comes with a warning label, like everything else in our society. Prospective drinkers are warned not to over imbibe. And it's not just a regular warning label. I mean, it is a full-on yellow tag around the neck of the bottle. I sent you a picture there. You can see
I
it.
see it.
And it looks, it's
Just
bigger
a
than the label
marketing
itself.
crap.
Don't drink the whole bottle.
Oh, also, the 275 milliliter bottle retails for, you guys want to take a guess?
Oh, God.
Can we get on free, psycho?
Not quite that much. About $80 for a bottle.
For one 12-ounce bottle, is that what you said?
$275, yeah. Is that 12 ounce? It looks like 12 ounce.
It's a small bottle, yeah.
Can you get it at the Conesto'o?
You'll pay a lot more than $3.
was my total.
Yeah.
I think that the taste, I'm just guessing, is not a whole lot better than Four Loko, Bevo. So you're onto something
Four
once
Loko
again.
would taste better than this. It
better.
wouldn't have any fucking peat malt in it.
Well, here's the thing: is
I've had Four Loko. It's not that bad.
at some point, craft beer is bad for craft beer. And it's things like this, where it's the large, the biggest, the best. But all you people who stand in line for 5 fucking hours to get a 1 ounce pour of Dark Lord or whatever, this is who you're being marketed to by this kind of beer.
Yeah, and
so all the hype about I need a large beer, the bigger the better. Oh, this is so crazy. You buy into this shit, and people make it for you because that's what they think the people want to drink. In reality, nobody wants to drink that.
I could not agree more. I don't.
I'd be curious as to how many bottles of this they produced. Probably 2 for that picture.
I see 1.
That's a good question.
I bet it wasn't very many. It's just all a big
throwback.
marketing scam.
It was a throwback. I haven't heard this in a while.
I got it at my
I did hear a rap song the other day that sounded like these dudes though, and I was like, oh, they made it.
You're welcome.
I could use a watermelon flavor right now.
That's racist.
How many views do you think this has got?
Blue one?
No,
right now, I think it's like 6 million.
That was the,
It just says over 2 million.
No.
the blue one says
over
electric
2
blue.
They're making money.
I like the blue one.
Must be tripping.
They're just sitting around
You must be miserling me.
cashing in on YouTube. I think the video got better since I last watched. All right, what else we got?
I'm gonna hit her if she honey. That's the next line.
Well, apparently this is a thing.
I heard a great long line in a rap song this weekend because I was hanging on the LBC, and that's where you listen to rap.
Yeah.
And it was, she got ass like a Ferris wheel.
I don't understand what that means.
I don't know, but it was great.
Going around and
again.
It was just, it was big and round, and it was ass like a Ferris wheel.
And you get it again.
There's always like a new comparison, and I love them. They're really great.
Like a Ferris wheel.
Ass like a Ferris wheel.
What was the rhyming line before?
I don't remember, and I wish I did, but I'm terrible at that.
Text Julian. He probably knows.
Julian will tell me what it is. I'll try to find out. Go ahead.
This is a thing, apparently. Opening beer bottles with helicopters. As weird as that sounds, amateur pilots will take the yoke of their little helicopters and they'll affix a bottle opener to the skids of the chopper and then open bottles.
Oh, pull up and go.
Yes. So there have been amateur videos posted on YouTube of this sort of stuff. Search YouTube for it. You won't believe how many there are. It was really brought home a couple weekends ago when the China helicopter tournament in the province of Shandong decided that a fun challenge for the 20 competing pilots would be to open a beer bottle using bottle openers, like I said, mounted to the skids. The rules were simple. The pilot had to open 5 beer bottles in sequence in a designated area within 8 minutes, and the one who opened the most bottles without damage to them would win. The winner was Zhang Zuiquang.
Of course
he
it was.
claimed victory after successfully opening 3
I think it's Zhang Zuquang.
Isn't that what I said?
Whatever.
No, it's the inflection.
He opened 3 of the 5 bottles with minimal damage. Here, pop me up, and we'll hear the commentary because it's quite entertaining.
All right.
そして50メートル離れたところにある2本目のビールにやってまいりました。
It's good. Hold on. No, keep going.
真上に
It's funny how excited they get when it happens. You'll hear it.
逃げ取りにはいかがですか？
そうですね。これは早く抜きたいっていう気持ちの表れで若干入れてるんじゃないでしょうか。
Coming up to it now.
Who's the hot rod?
さあ2本目どうだ？
Oh, you almost got it.
手を立て直して戻ってきた。狙った。今何やら
There it was. He got it.
アクシデントが起こったようであります。
That's the Japanese
I
one.
just like how excited
Yeah,
they
that's
were.
Japanese.
No, whatever.
Great.
Whatever.
Hang on, let me write it on Twitter myself right now.
You racists.
They don't even know the difference between Asian culture.
Well, I only pointed out because I was going to email that to you if you were really going to play the Chinese one because it's completely thoroughly boring. But the Japanese one, it's
more
super
exciting.
game show. I mean, because everything is just like how exciting can it really be? You're literally, if you break it down to its fundamental, you're opening a beer bottle.
That's right.
With a helicopter.
So Moscow sent me this also, and he said, go ahead and look it up on YouTube, and I did, and I thought that they're open. By the way, these aren't like RC copters; they're full-on helicopters,
yes.
And they're opening beer bottles, which is very impressive. However, watching it is extremely it's
dull.
No, but I also get filled with anxiety because I feel like I'm in the helicopter and they're just so close and the videos are 8 minutes long, and for the whole time you're just watching them barely get it.
It's not like they're opening Cantillon.
It made me very uncomfortable.
Well, also, all of these guys are like presidents of the Too Much Time and Money Club. I mean, because they're just sitting there burning like 101 octane fuel with their choppers on like a Tuesday trying to...
Yeah,
hey, what are you
$11 a
doing?
gallon.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway.
So you're related to them.
We don't waste money like that, please. Okay, one more.
Yeah.
Surly Brewing. I've reported a couple of updates on Surly over the months and years. They have started construction on a $20 million beer paradise. They just broke ground last week after nearly 3 years and a state law in the making. If you'll remember, Surly first announced plans for a destination brewery with like a bar and a restaurant in a beer garden way back in February 2011, but the dream was illegal under Minnesota law. But they were not deterred. They fought it for months, and they worked to help pass the Surly Bill, the measure that allowed brewers statewide to start selling their own beer. So it's been great for everybody, especially Surly. By September 2012, they had found the perfect location, as I reported here, a former potato processing plant on 8 acres near the University of Minnesota. But before they could start planning, they had to get the state to agree to pick up over $2 million in cleanup costs from the industrial past of the site, But now, after nearly 3 years, construction crews, like I said, they finally got started. To celebrate, Surly tapped its first keg on the site. They toasted the groundbreaking. The mayor, R.T. Rayback, joined in, raising a glass. And they aim to complete it in 2014. Once it's done, it'll be about 50,000 square feet, and Surly will increase production by almost 4 times. They're looking to churn out 100,000 barrels a year, up from about 20,000 that they're at now.
$20 million.
Big time.
That's I don't know.
You print that off in a week here, don't you?
What would you estimate Stone spent on just World Bistro, if you had to guess?
$20 million.
Yeah, really? That's about the number, huh?
No, probably less. I don't know. Maybe half that. They spent some dough. The World Bistro, the original one, was probably easily 20 mil. I don't know if it's less property or not. But I guess more power to him. That just seems like a lot of money. I don't know.
Well, Mitch Steele will be in here in January. Maybe we can try and drag that number out of him, like how much it costs. Because, maybe we're off. Maybe they spent $30 million. I mean, these are obviously really expensive projects.
I've met two of the Surly dudes. One of them was totally awesome. He's the guy that we interviewed at Firestone.
Todd Haig.
I like that guy. Met him a couple times. Good dude, good sense of humor. The other guy, I don't know. He was kind of a dick to me. Maybe I wasn't cool.
What was that story again? I kind of remember it.
I think he donated beer. They donated beer to an anniversary party in Minnesota, and then later that night, I saw him at the pro night at NHC, and I just came up and I was really just thanking him because I thank everybody who donates. I thought it was a really nice thing to do. I was like, "Hey, that was really awesome. You donated to our party. I want to thank you." And he kind of just nodded. He just looked at me and was like,
whatever.
But Todd, I like that guy. He's a good dude. I don't know. The other guy maybe is good, too. Maybe he's having a bad night at pro night at NHC. I don't know. Who am I to judge?
Yeah.
I say God bless him. I do like beer playgrounds. I think that's like the new thing. The people who are like brewing companies that are doing well, they build these beer playgrounds like Stone has done and some other places are doing it. I do like that. It's kind of like a catch-all. Like the Stone place has bocce ball courts and stuff. So if they're kind of going along with that, I say good for them.
We should build one in the Bahamas.
It's a good idea.
You start.
You want to move? You want me to move you guys there, and you can run it for us?
Yes.
Is that what you're getting at, Bebo?
Sold. I will quit my job tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, we can shelter your money tax-free.
But you won't be able to see.
That's good.
I don't need to see. It's cool.
I need a tax shelter, I think.
I want one.
Sounds like the thing to do. Sounds like something I need.
Yeah, all right. Well, good luck to Surly on the construction. We're excited to see what it looks like when it's done.
Yes.
That is the news brought to you by Williams Brewing this week.
All right, there you go. I found the song with the ass like a Ferris wheel, Jippy.
I want to do it.
Gas pedal?
It's gas pedal. See, Tasty, how did Tasty know these things?
I don't know. He likes terrible things.
The man is in the loop.
Yeah.
It's called Gas Pedal. It's a year old on YouTube.
From Sage the Gemini.
Should we play it? See if we can get to it rather quickly. Oh, too late. Too late, Doc.
Now.
500,000 views on YouTube.
Dude.
Oh, now I got to listen to this fucking commercial first.
I can play the audio from the Japanese game show while we're waiting.
You mean the Chinese?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Here we go. Sage. Why is he talking to Daniela? Oh, we about to get cray-cray in here, Jeff. That's the hook right there.
Holy shit. Slow down, grab the wall, wiggle like you're trying to make your ass fall off. Hella thick, I wanna smash them all now.
What?
Speed up, gas pedal,
gas pedal,
gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal.
Terrible song.
Talk about
the song and how terrible it is.
Black money, let them all say amen. I'm just trying to make it clear, boy, Ray-Bans. I'm a great man, whoa, say friend.
I'm just trying to make
it late night, DJ A-man, room full of boppers. Tell them give me topper, beat it up, 911, hit the coppers. I'm S-A-G-E, who would like to know? B545, large me in your throat. West side, baby, do what you do. And you got tell what that shit do. It's pretty nigga mob, just the way that I grow. I be stepping up in the club, they make it drop to my show. Her new man, cause I spoke.
Bevo likes it.
I don't give a fork, everywhere, nigga out if he acting up or a sport. Use that door, grab a girl and get a yank. Gang, got a booty like this, I'm trying to make it. Wow, slow down, grab.
I thought he's talking about booty. I thought it was going to be the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
I only heard the one line and then I got out of the car, so I didn't,
Gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal.
I think this is one of them rape culture songs.
Well, it sounds like it.
Speed up.
Now it's in the chorus is where he says that.
This is a sexist song.
There's a chorus?
She a trick for $1 bill and a boyfriend a bitch calling Tyler Perry. I'm in the black bat looking scary. On my way to the cake, no bake Gary. Oops, bakery. Never been no faker me.
Bevo likes it.
She asks me where you take me.
My headphones died, so I can't hear it anymore.
That's why she likes it.
when you hit the stage and people do a 180. When I hit the
It's not very good.
No, it's terrible.
I just like the one line. That's all I want to hear.
Easy, got a white bitch with me, call that hoe Slim Shady, Nigga Sue so crazy, got 2 hoes with me, make my own bitch hate me,
It's definitely it's not helping us.
Say we getting money, that's an understatement,
Slow down, grab the wall, wiggle like you tryna make your ass fall off. Hella think I wanna smash them all now. Speed up, gas pedal, gas pedal.
Is it like the monotone, bass-driven rap? Is that the new thing?
I don't know. This is a year old.
JP, try to twerk.
There. That's all I cared about.
What was the?
She got a booty so big it like a Ferris wheel.
Right. What was the rhyme before it? Then?
I don't know because you fuckers were talking.
I wasn't talking
because we were tired of it.
It was.
Shut up!
Get real.
Shit gotta get real.
Yeah, he repeated it.
That's it. That whole thing for that.
Yeah.
Who could have predicted
that whole thing for one good line?
Yeah.
She gotta get real. She got a booty so big like a Ferris wheel. That's a good line.
Is it?
Yes.
Well.
You fucking asshole. That's a great line. The rest was terrible.
I think
I agree with
the
you.
next BN
It's not
t-shirt.
that terrible.
Not sure what it means. But.
BN t-shirt.
How can you not know she got a booty so big it looked like a Ferris wheel? What that means? It means it's big.
It's like big and round.
It's like a metaphor.
Big and round,
when
right?
you describe the analogy, when you explain it in your lyric, then you don't get it. Well, you have a problem.
I'm just imagining a giant
I
don't know,
ass
what's wrong
with
with
a
you
Ferris
people?
wheel attached to it.
What is wrong with you people?
No, I understand it. I just think it's a funny mental image.
I think you're all idiots.
I think the DCA Ferris wheel with big Mickey or his butthole.
Here's
Right,
the Twitter headline
exactly.
tomorrow. Here's the Twitter. All of the BN loves Sage the Gemini, the rape culture promoter. That's out of that little segment, that's going to be the headline tomorrow.
And half our crew will be on there. I agree.
And end this now.
Someone in this room will go, yeah, that's why I only like talking about beer. In that room.
Yeah.
Can we get to the Twitter game and get the hell out of here? Because, I'm offended now.
Are you?
No, but
that was the other thing about what really bugged me about that Twitter bullshit is some chick called us. Basically, we were perpetuating the sexist culture that beer has had for the last 20 years.
It was what was it? Male elitism? What?
Yes.
Male privilege. Male privilege. Yeah, great catchphrase.
And we were bringing back the sexist culture that craft beer has had for the last 20 years.
Dominated craft beer.
Whatever. Come on the show and tell us about it, and then
why don't we
we'll
just
talk
send a
about
couple guys over there?
Fucking assholes. Just talk to us about it. When do we stop talking to people about things? We just sit around accusing everybody.
That's what I said. I said, say it. If you have a problem with it, say it.
By the way, if you're going to sit in here on the fucking show and say shit with us, and you disagree with it, say it then.
Right.
Say it right then. Say, I don't disagree with this. And then I'll make fun of you for that, of course. But say it then. Don't say it afterward. You know who I'm talking about.
Who won the Twitter game?
All right. Anyway. What's our Twitter game today?
Define Meisel.
Where did that word come from?
That's part of the game.
That's the name of the game, girl.
We'll pay it off for you after the
This
game.
is going to be fun.
To muzzle your face.
You don't even know what that means.
That's it. You might have it.
That's the sexist screen caller thing I don't like about you.
I'm more of a boy than any of you.
Should be.
All right. What do you got?
Our friend Austin writes, Meisel is something a whore does for money.
Oh, that's sexist.
I'm going to delete that because that's the male elitism.
Yeah, we're not into that.
That guy hates women.
Meisel does not use it like a
That one's got a chance, though.
Okay, what else?
Kyle Schmidt writes, the feeling you get after realizing the drunk midget on the session is your dentist.
You just got Meiseled.
I got Meiseled.
So that's like a look of awe. Or
You're laying there and and he's drilling you and you're like, oh shit, that's Doc.
I don't ever want
I got
Doc to be
Meisel.
drilling me, just for the record.
I just got Meiseled. All right, that one's good.
Stop being such a feminist.
Didn't say that, did he?
Yeah. Reed Brewing wrote, it's like after ordering the hot blonde call girl advertised on Craigslist, and a black crackhead tranny shows up instead.
Yeah, a lot of horror stuff.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I'm going to take that one out.
Must be that we're sexist.
Good friend Scott Shager writes, when you keep telling Doc that feedback is coming up next and then never do it just to mess with him.
That's true, and I do that in several categories too. It's not just Doc. I'm always like, we're going to do this next, and then we don't do it. That's a good definition of being misled.
Yep. Catfish writes, misled equals Obamacare.
All right.
Love that one. Keep that one in there.
That's the same thing we just said. It's telling people you're going to do something and then not doing it. All right.
Matt Haney. I don't know. People have weird, stupid names. How do you feel when your date takes off the Wonder Bra?
Oh, misled. Yeah, totally misled.
Right? Misled is a good one for that one.
Yeah,
I used to own a Wonder Bra.
Of course you did.
And you fucking misled Sam into marriage.
Oh!
That's what happened.
Fucking
My boobs
misler.
were massive when we got married.
They were?
What happened
Yes.
to him?
Did he get to touch him?
Burn.
Blobberglop wrote, misled is to think you fucked over a friend with a smart joke, but self-fucked yourself and have no clue.
What?
He's such a nice guy. I put it in there just so we can say his
love
name,
him.
but I don't. That's
Basically,
such a
you said a joke, but the joke's on you.
I don't like it.
But you just self-fucked yourself.
Yes.
I've never heard. I don't know. Whatever. Secret Lab wrote, I misled the shit out of my landlord, making him pay for that burnt deck.
Yeah, he got misled.
That's it.
All right.
Wasn't a very good one, but
truthful.
So
truthful. Yes.
I would like to give it to the first one about Doc, but I don't want that to be the lasting definition because it's too narrow, and then we won't ever get to use misled again.
No, I think
So can we make the winner that guy because it was the funniest?
Which one?
When you find out your dentist is that drunk guy on the session,
Okay.
Drunk midget.
Drunk
Yeah,
midget
midget.
on the session.
Yeah.
I think he should win. However, the consensus from all the other ones of what the definition of misled is basically sort of offering up one thing and you mean something
you got
else.
hoodwinked.
Or you don't actually come through. It's a kind of a liquid definition, It
It's
moves.
very fluid,
It's a
that's
moving
right.
target. Yeah, thank you. It's fluid.
I like liquid.
I misled you with liquid.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Is that fair enough? Can we give it to the first guy because we all laughed the most at that?
Yeah.
Yet his definition doesn't stand.
But, we
All right.
we is the loose definition too.
What's his name, the dude?
Kyle Schmidt, I think. I just closed it out.
Kyle, you just won the Twitter game. Thanks very much for playing. Email jp@thebrewingnetwork.com and he will send you a prize ASAP.
Something.
But in the meantime, BN Army, remember, misled means you promise something and don't deliver it. Like a Wonder Bra. Or like feedback
Or
is
you
coming
show
up
him
right
your
now.
boobies, but you don't let him touch them.
Or we're going to get out of here in 20 minutes.
Exactly. I totally misled you guys.
yeah.
Like every other week.
We should have saw that coming.
Play us the clip of where we got misled from, Moscow.
Obamacare gets implemented. So I think most people just discount what he says because he's done everything he can to try to slow it down or stop it. At the end of the day, Americans were not only not misled by the president, the overwhelming...
So it's a newscast.
Somebody defending Obamacare, trying to say he did. You can keep your plan if you like your doctor, except for you can't.
Okay.
And she's
Without
trying
going
to say he didn't lie. He didn't mislead the American public.
He
right?
just said what he's going to
So in other
say.
words, she's reading a teleprompter with the word misled.
Yeah,
but
that's
can't
what
figure out how to say misled. So she
He
says
didn't
misled.
not misel. He
Play
did
once.
not.
Let's hear it again.
Try to slow it down or stop it. At the end of the day, Americans were not only not misled by the president, the overwhelming...
I love reading
Mild
a teleprompter. I feel like that's Bebo. She's reading the teleprompter. It clearly says misled, but it's misled.
Couldn't come up with it.
Totally
She must have
misled.
lost her place on there or something.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
And that, folks, is how we came up with misled. All right. I think that about does it for this week. Am I wrong? Am I missing anything? I don't think we are.
Yes, you are.
All right. Next week, Maine and Mill Brewing Company are on the program, and we'll all be here to make you happy as well. As always, thank you, and here's JP.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. If you can't get enough of Disneyland, Cats, Disneyland, and Disneyland, follow JP on Twitter at Major Jip. Scott is no longer on Twitter due to rape culture.
Fuck that.
For some good beer insight and home brewing, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Push Eject. Tonight's show has been produced by Scott Maskowitz. JP was here stumbling over his words. He should probably get a hosting job. Mizold. Our Meisling chat mod tonight has been Bevo. So whatever, your host was Justin Crosley. This is the worst plugs ever. You should have found Network on Facebook and Twitter.
Mizold!
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his charity case.
Americans were not only not misled by the president.